tell us about this.
So salmon, I'm still farming. So essentially, they have different types of yield based on what tokens you stake. For the most part, they want you to stake Uniswap LP tokens because it brings value to their brings liquidity to their project. So you'll go on Uniswap, you'll buy their coin, you'll stake, and then the earlier you get, the larger the return is. So literally, some of these returns are like 400 million%, like something ridiculous. But you literally, if you're one of the first, like if you're the first, call it 100 million in, you'll make your 50 grand back probably in like an hour or two. So what people are doing is they'll put it in, the price starts running, they'll sell it as soon as it's farmed, and then they'll take all their coin out, and then whoever's left with the potatoes, fuck. So salmon turned out to be decent, and I think it actually has some legs. Kimchi was okay for a while, but I got stuck with the potato, and noodle was just a fucking disaster. Let's not talk about noodle.
All of these will be worth zero in a year, guaranteed.
Oh, it's all gonna be worth nothing. There's no use case for anything. It's all total garbage.
It's Ponzi. It's classic Ponzi. It's like get in and get out.
What about sushi here, though?
All right. So
actually, Robert, I believe in 2 years it'll all be worth zero. A year, there still could be some value there.
On what? On what? Some of the farm coins?
Yeah, on all this shit.
I think it would be not. But that's the thing. Like, I think a small percent, maybe in a year there'll be some value. A couple of years probably be totally done. But 95%, 99% in 2 or 3 months it'll be garbage, right? Like, there's really no value at all, and then the money that's locked up in baking contracts are gone now. They're gone as fast as it came.
So I'm not a farmer, and I'm not encouraging anyone to farm, but here's my view on all this, all right? There's a couple projects that have like really good ideas, and they actually have a vision behind a lot of this farming stuff. So in the whole history of this, there's like 4 things that turned into like the powerful yield farming projects. You had Comp, you have Curve, you have Yam, and you have Sushi, and all of them are like extremely original visions for like what and why, right? With Comp, it was like we're distributing governance. With Curve, like they had a brilliant reason for yield farming. Yam was its own extremely unique approach and vision. Sushi, it's like a competitive takeover of another protocol, extremely useful. And YFI, sorry, can't forget.
I was going to say, you can't forget Wi-Fi.
Can't forget Wi-Fi, right? Everything else is like a clone of those and doesn't actually have a vision, right? There's no like mission, there's no protocol.
You have to have an 8 here. Nice hand. Ah, fuck. First hand, you take all my chips. Sorry to cut you off there, Robert.
So if you want to yield farm and make a bunch of money, the tokens that are going to go up are the ones that have like a vision behind like why there's even this concept of yield farming. All of like the crazy clones that are just literally copy paste of another yield farm, like noodle and kimchi and like pizza and hot dog and like all these stupid things are all like absolute train wrecks. You're going to lose money.
This sounds very much like 2017, and everything kept going up for like a year and a half.
Maybe it will. But these things play out in like 2-day cycles sometimes.
That's true.
The cycle is just so much faster now. Like the cycle's so much faster because you've been sitting on bags for like 2 years.
Right. You guys are 100% right about that. Yeah.
Like the speed is just totally ridiculous. Like I can't even. But you're right, Rob, and I think it's genuinely a good. I don't want to even use this term, but investment thesis. Like when you're deciding to participate in some of these things, I look at it like some of the. I did a couple of these this week, literally because I'm like, I've never done it before. Let me see how this is, and I actually played around with it. I learned a lot just playing around with it. But for the most part, the token distribution method, the incentivized action, that's very powerful stuff. And if you have a real product and a real reason for participating, like it can incentivize real users. And I think that can go extremely far. And you guys saw it firsthand, right? You guys turned it on and you went from 100 or 200 million to $1 billion in a week, right? And you got people to take the actions you want. You want people to lend and borrow. Perfect. Win, I'll give you something, and that's powerful.
Exactly. And hot dog doesn't have a plan, right? And like kimchi doesn't have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
The competitive takeover that sushi's doing is fascinating. Like it's evil. It is actually evil. And fascinating.
They passed a proposal today. They're going to speed up migration. So they were supposed to do this migration in like at this point it might be 7 days from now, but now it's like by the weekend it's probably going to be done.
But why is it evil? Just because it's going to wreck Uniswap? I mean, what is it?
Yeah, like they just are literally, they're in a kind of brilliant way. They're paying. Sorry, gotta play poker. They're paying to. They've locked up. What was it, like 90% of the liquidity in Uniswap? That's going to migrate over in this migration, and suck all the liquidity out of Uniswap. But they're Robert, you know better than I do. It's the same front end and same analytics. They literally just copy pasted Uniswap code and added a token.
Well, we don't know that yet because we haven't seen the decks, right? Like all they've done is actually just fork Yan's staking mechanisms and front end and ran a yield farming exercise for 5 days. We don't really know what the DEX is actually going to be like. Correct.
They've actually been, well, the DEX is going to be Uniswap v2. They're just GitHub copy-pasting it. But the interface, they've been running like a design contest on Twitter. It's like all these people are submitting design for like front end.
Nice hand.
Wow.
Run to 2 sets of 8s. What's going on here?
Uh-oh. That's the fastest rebuy.
I think
last week was fast.
Yeah,
last week.
That's 10 hands. What's the fastest? This on the 10th hand.
It must have been like first hand rebuy.
9 hands.
There's definitely been a first hand rebuy. I mean, that
So
was 2 hands for me.
Just for Hardin and Andrew, whenever we rebuy in the Zoom chat, we'll put what that rebuy is just so I can keep track. And then as well, whenever you're ready to leave, just in the Zoom chat, just put what the number of chips you're ending with, and if you remember what you're buying, like how much you bought in, if you bought in multiple times, just say it there as well. It just makes it easier for me.
Cool.
So we're live now, right, Luke?
Yeah, we're good to go.
Okay. So guys, I'm going to share in the Zoom chat here the link to the tweet because most of the people that watch are on Twitter. So I put it into the Zoom chat. If you guys can share it, retweet it on Twitter, we'll get some people watching the game and maybe some questions and stuff like that.
Sweet.
But Rob, I've been thinking a lot about what you just said this last week, because there is some really important signals that are being put in the market on things that the market needs, the market wants, the community values. And I think people can take those and use them for the purpose of maybe having a better accelerated launch, incentivizing user participation and action. And I think that can go a long way, but at the core of it, you need a dedicated and quality team. You need, an existing product. You need, something that's of value. And that's why Wi-Fi has just been kicking ass, right? It's like such a sick product for the exact people that they marketed to participate in the liquidity mining event, right? And then all of a sudden you have this allure of Andre and, his humbleness and his willingness to take money and, all this stuff that goes with it. And, they made a lot of people a lot of money, and that builds a level of camaraderie, I guess.
For sure. I mean, right now it's at the point where like people are taking off-the-shelf contracts for the most, sometimes customizing them to do different things, but like it's getting really easy to like launch things if they're like slight iterations and improvements on what's already been created. And so like the obstacle now is not like, especially because no one cares about code quality and safety. Like the obstacle now is not like, spending a year to build something. It's like the obstacle now is like, can you sell the vision to a community really fast?
And I think at the core of it, you gotta speak to genuinely like every mechanic that's part of the business, the launch, the token, the product, everything needs to be community first and community oriented, right? Like I believe so much so now in this like DAO first, like there's a lot of examples, including Comp, or over time, overbuilding the product and raising capital, eventually migrating. But I think this, like really starting from the ground up, like having people with capital that are able to fund product development, audits, and get it to that point where like they can self-fund it without raising money, and then have it be truly community owned day one. I think that's killer. I think it's gonna kick some real ass. And that's why they did the Fair Launch Capital. I really liked. That was a new initiative where they were providing, probably 20 to 50K to do a proper audit on something you built.
Yeah. I mean, that's almost like a public service, right? Where it's like, right now there's so much danger because like people are just throwing shit out there. Like they should be audited first, and someone should be willing to pay for it for the good of the community. It costs like $30K to audit, and like they're handling $500 million. Like,
yeah. But it's a great opportunity for auditing firms too to like corner the market. Like I literally have a ninja team of like 10 engineers that every time a new product comes out, do like a soft audit on it, like give the green, the quote unquote green, without people paying for it or whatever. You know how much business that will drive them? Because like all these new products, there's like, oh, we were soft audited by so and so. And then you know how many people's asses are going to save, and then how much love they're going to get for that as well. It's like, there's a unique opportunity for companies like that.
All right, big hand here.
Big hand. Luke, this is quick.
I mean, he said he wanted to see fastest, rebuys here. I gotta make up my loss.
Rebuying here,
Hard under the gun here. All right.
Oh, nice.
All those auditing firms are probably making more money yield farming than they were auditing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
That's for sure. but how long is that gonna last, right? And then
then they'll go back to auditing. All right, we're back.
Robert, that's a cooler for me to catch a set of fives when you have the top pair, top kicker. That's tough.
That was a fair hand. I thought you might have the trips, and I wasn't sure which one. I wasn't sure if you had it. I thought you might be trying to muscle me out.
I was worried. I figured if you guys both hung around for the river, something was going to come that was going to beat me. A flush, a straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob, I could have potentially seen a fold there just because Hart was behind you, right? And you're thinking, well, maybe he has two pair. Or
it was weird.
There's a lot of things that could have been wrong on that hand, but you gotta lose a hand like that every now and then.
I hear you. I did.
Rob, were you already in there? Like, did you raise and then Luke pushed all in?
Yeah, I was playing the top pair pretty aggressively.
You guys both were, and I was like, that's why I figured someone might have been above me with a set. I don't know. I thought it was going to be two rebuys for me off the bat.
How many people have a five?
What, right now?
Right now, or
we talking last hand or this hand?
Last hand.
I guess we all do. It's checked around.
So what's everyone's perspective of the dip today? Do you think it's just one of those quick bounces? Do you think we're in for some more pain? Like what's
the dead cat bounce?
You think?
Yep. There's gonna be dead cat bounce.
And then we go lower, Bobby?
I think it's gonna test 10,000. It's gonna go back to below 10,000.
Back below?
Given that it didn't hold 12,000, I think it's gonna go back. I don't like it, but I think that's how the markets behave.
No. I take the over on that.
Luke, what are you thinking? Looking at the charts and.
I don't know, man. I got stopped out of a lot of stuff overnight, so it was just a day of watching.
Carnage.
Yeah, it was a day of losing money. I don't really have too many thoughts. I think like global markets, like global macro is kind of pulling it down. It's been a lot more correlated with gold lately and inverse of dollar than anything to do with stocks, and that's both those trades aren't helping either. So I don't know. Maybe it's all weekend. Maybe it's a week or so, but. I mean, we're still definitely in a bull market. Like, I don't know. view it kind of as a nice opportunity. It sets up next week or later this month.
Well, that's the thing. There was no real catalyst. It's not like, one of those fucking farm coins stole $500 million, right? Like, that's a real catalyst to feel like extended pain.
Yeah.
So I too agree. I don't know.
What was it? Like Bithumb got shut down. What was the catalyst?
Yeah, Bithumb got shut down and Coinbit got I think shut down as well.
Yeah, who cares?
So Chris, what could happen is maybe it happened and just the news didn't get out yet. Maybe the insiders know, there was a takedown, there was an issue, if you will.
Bitcoin's pretty small now, though, like relative to, it doesn't really like hurt the liquidity of Bitcoin or anything.
Yeah, I feel like we still. I mean,
honestly, Bithumb being shut down is nothing compared to like one of these DeFi farming, projects.
Yeah,
stealing $500 million. Like that will just create ripples across the space.
And then a new one would pop up. We'd all forget about it a day later.
Wi-Fi 7.
All right, I'm all in, guys.
Are you? Oh, there you go.
This
is a big play.
Ed has to call with his 7 deuce. Come on.
Look, it's good to get the rebuys out of the way early. That's what I've learned. I try to lose it all very quickly.
Whoa.
And then the good luck comes later.
That's a pro move right there. All right. No amateur pulls that move.
Oh, we got a race here. Kings get there.
See, I had King 7 as well. I was gonna call.
Oh.
Lucky.
Wait, he had the straight, and I hit the boat.
No.
Two pair.
No, you hit.
You didn't get this straight.
Oh, sorry.
I needed 9.
I did that
wrong. Straight. I had Jack High.
I totally just literally made up what cards were on the table. Never mind, guys.
He's like, you had a straight, I had a full house.
I misread one of the cards.
No, bro. I had a Jack High and pair kings. Yeah, no, I got it. I saw that. It was just entertaining.
I feel like, Luke, you've been in a lot of action here. Every hand.
It feels like an action table right now. I'm just getting
playing poker.
I'm just getting good cards. I'm just trying to make back my losses today. It's tough out here right now.
It's not a loss. It's not a loss until you cash out.
Luke, did in the sell-off, was it led by global markets, like global macro, outside of crypto?
In the what?
I didn't watch the timing. Yeah.
I don't know if you could say led. Well, I guess you could. Like, I think gold topped yesterday. Gold actually probably topped a little bit before Bitcoin. Dollar pairs all across the market. What was it? Yesterday probably at yesterday morning, and then Bitcoin topped out like an hour or two after that, and we've kind of been falling since. So I don't know if you could say like led, but definitely they both kind of turned the corner at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think because the unfortunate thing is everybody has this like money printer thesis, and it's all to me kind of bullshit because it still trades like a risk asset. To me. Yeah, it's
I mean, it's certainly, highest up on the risk totem pole if you were to like compare its relative risk. So it's definitely going to trade like a risk asset, but it's weird. It like sometimes it's correlated to stocks, like we saw from March through June, July, and now for like the past month, it's been a much closer tie to gold and kind of plays off what the dollar does. So that's what I'm watching right now is gold and the dollar. But we'll see. I mean, like with every single time Bitcoin has a relationship, eventually it breaks out of it and just moves higher. Like whenever it can decouple, that's when things get really bullish.
I think the cat's out of the bag though now. Not even speaking to like the Bitcoin piece, but the cat's out of the bag for everybody and their mother that wants to launch a new coin, do a pre-sale, launch some random fork. Like it's behind the scenes, and if anyone's behind the scenes, I'm sure a bunch of us are, but like it's just bananas right now. So everyone got that taste the last couple of weeks, or like, shit, I can launch something, go up 20x, like literally. So it's like, now the pandemonium's not going to stop until the lights are turned off, right? It's musical chairs all over again, and that's going to come with pretty painful pop when it happens, and I hope that doesn't line itself up with a major global macro sell-off, because then it's just like ultra pain, but nonetheless, like I've seen that most certainly. It feels like 17 all over again.
Yeah.
There's a weird trend going on. I saw people talking about it on Twitter. I haven't participated in one yet, but there are there's like a lot of pre-sales and like actual token sales happening. Like obviously there's a lot of fair launch, and that's where most projects are going, but like there's like a pretty ridiculous amount of like token sales going on that all sell out. It's wild.
There's a lot. And the new strategy is like only do 500E. So it's like
the token sale? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like they only raise like a little bit of money just to create this FOMO, and then they take a boatload of their tokens and see the liquidity on Uniswap.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they set the price, right? Like that's what's fucked about it. Is so now with Uniswap being such a prominent liquidity source, they'll set the price at like whatever the hell they want, and all the people that couldn't get in because they made the cap so small are just buying like crazy. So it's the new kind of the new advisor strategy, like the ICO is also so and so's advisor, and this is this is going to beat Ethereum, this new layer 1, and this is Ethereum of Korea, and then it's the same shit. And then everyone's just saying, I hope this is not a rug pull. It's like, dude, like what the fuck? Yeah, sure, put $250,000 into something that you're like crossing your fingers is not someone that's literally just going to take them like the next day.
Yeah, Chris, I feel a little like, because we were kind of one of the first projects to launch a token on Uniswap, or we were the first project to launch a token on Uniswap. So maybe we started a bit of a bad trend here, man, and I apologize.
You can't take credit for that. You can't take credit for the bad stuff that happened.
That's a good kind of segue into like, tell us the story of, because it's been a pretty interesting ride for you guys. Like you guys are now, I don't know what the market did, but you were over the $1 billion mark. You just got announced listed on Coinbase this week. It's been a pretty interesting ride. Like how did that all go down?
Well, I think our strategy here, or our thought process here, was to ignore the centralized exchanges. So we have a token, like UMA is, first of all, a credible project with real people doing real shit. So we have that going for us. And we have a token, and it's funny, Chris, I was thinking about like, do you guys all remember how in like 2019, if you had a token, people thought you were a scam artist? Like tokens were so out of vogue a year ago. And it's completely flipped now. If you don't have a token, you'll get forked, or you'll get like attacked like Uniswap is now, which I find kind of funny. But we have this token, we have credible, really interesting and very rigorous economics for why our token accrues value. And we didn't want to play the game of launching on a centralized exchange. So we launched on Uniswap, and actually had good liquidity there. And frankly, our strategy worked because the project got some traction, and then the centralized exchanges got interested in listing us. So, and then the sushi thing happened in between, which is just totally.
What was that time frame?
4 months, man. 4 months from, we launched on Uniswap on April 29th. And we got announced that we got listed on Coinbase yesterday. So, it's basically 4 months from decentralized exchange to centralized exchange listing, which is kind of cool.
Well, I'm not going to ask the hard questions like, Coinbase is an investor, so how did that play into the role? But nonetheless, like, it is an interesting journey. And, one of the things I was interested in with the project is, you don't have a product in market right now, right?
We have some projects, like we do have a product to, it's kind of like a fixed term loan market. So basically, we have an infrastructure that lets you build synthetic tokens that track anything with a price feed. That price feed has to be approved by our governance, by the UMA token holder vote. But once that price identifier is approved, you can launch a token tracking anything. So we have tokens right now that expire to be worth $1 of ETH. They're collateralized in ETH, which is like a way to borrow, like get a fixed term loan backed by ETH. What's actually launching next week is a token that lets you collateralize, get a dollar loan backed by RenBTC. So it's like a completely permissionless way to borrow dollars against your Bitcoin, which we think is like pretty fucking cool. And then
RenBTC is not fully permissionless.
That's step one. Step one. You can't say that with RenBTC.
Fine. Robert, give me your critique of Ren. Why isn't it on Compound yet?
Because right now all the Bitcoin is held by a Bitcoin address that the team.
One address, 9,000 Bitcoin.
Yes, that's why. It's not safe yet. Yet is the
what does that mean? One address, 9,000 Bitcoins.
So I know you probably don't know what Ren is, Bobby, but so Ren, they have a protocol, or they call it a virtual machine called the Ren VM, that allows you to send Bitcoin, and then they will then port that over to the Ethereum network, wrap it, and then mint one Ren BT, or how would the equivalent of Ren BTC on the Ethereum network to the Ethereum that you sent to this address. So it's a 1-to-1.
Okay, so it's like a swap thing.
Yeah, and then they have their
atomic swap.
I'll use this term because it's a little old school, and you'll probably get it because that's how I got it. Was they use their master nodes, right? Their dark nodes to manage that process, and there's incentivization for those master nodes not to just steal the Bitcoin. At this point, I'm pretty sure that Ren actually runs the nodes that are in control of that process. But there is a single address right now that Ren controls that has had 9,000 Bitcoin sent to it, and they've then gone forward and minted the equivalent of Ren BTC on the Ethereum network. And then that's being used in a variety of different lending and borrowing protocols.
I see. So is that number scary, the 9,000?
Well, to you, it's probably not. That's just pocket change, right?
Yeah, that's my change address, 9,000 BTC.
That's Charlie's Tesla from 2012.
Not that much.
Ooh.
Well, Rob, what have you been? I don't know what the term. I don't know what you're interested in, but when you're thinking about trusted solutions, like what are some of the types of solutions that people are working on, or maybe you guys have thought about that you think is a better path to take? Because it is pretty, it's pretty complicated and complex, right?
Yeah. I mean, getting Bitcoin on Ethereum is like a really hard problem, right? Like it's still not easy. Like with Ren, it's like you send Bitcoin to their address and then they issue you a token, and eventually it's trustless, right? And there's other teams working on it, like TBTC. There's other solutions. So that was a good hand. Like wrapped Bitcoin, where it's like, oh, you send it to BitGo and they issue you a token. It's like, oh, okay, well, at least we know who they are and how it works. They're mostly trusted. I'm more interested in projects like TBTC, where they're trying to make it like actually like it's pure software. There's no company in the middle. Everyone knows how it works and you can't mess it up. But like all of this is still too early, like in a lot of ways. Like I'm definitely interested in like side chains and parachains that are trying to bridge to Bitcoin. Like Cosmos wants to have a peg zone and Polkadot and all these places, but like no one has really pulled it off yet.
Yeah, but I want it, Rob, because like, once, like, if you think that we've got all these people that sit there and can't do shit all with their Bitcoin, whereas all the ETH heads are like doing all this farming shit and making, 4,000% APRs, like, I don't know, not to say that we want everybody in Bitcoin farming stuff, but it is cool to be able to actually do useful things with your BTC.
Well, what's an interesting perspective there, because that's a very controversial comment, right? Because
I know.
A lot of Bitcoiners would be like, "Fuck that," right? So I'll point to Bobby and Charlie for a second and ask what your guys' perspective is, because you guys are obviously long-term Bitcoin holders. Like, do you see a need for yourselves? Do you see a potential need for having Bitcoin on other chains?
I don't. I mean, I think it's just novelty having Bitcoin on other chains. It's not a defensible feature, because you're just introducing more dependencies and more third-party reliance.
I mean, I look at it as like, do you want to borrow against this asset you have, right? Some people do, some people don't. You know,
it's a cool feature, and
it's like it's not something for everybody, for sure.
If you believe in DeFi stuff, then you probably should own some Ether, right? There's no reason why someone only has Bitcoin and wants to use that on the Ethereum chain, right? If you really believe in the Ethereum chain, then there's no reason why you shouldn't own Ether, or no reason why you should be afraid of converting your Bitcoin to Ether. I don't see that need, right?
Well, remember, there's a whole bunch of people that just don't like to sell assets for like tax purposes or for whatever else, right? I've always been amazed by this. It's like people that don't want to trade shit because they don't want to realize taxes or whatever it might be.
So Charlie, would you not take your Bitcoin and port it over to Ethereum?
Not all of it, some of it. Let's also.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Right.
You wouldn't. Not even a little.
I have some Ethereum. If I wanted to play with it, I would just use my Ethereum. If I really believe in it, I would just buy more Ethereum or convert more Bitcoin to Ethereum.
Or even other ERC.
Yeah, like unless there's a perfect peg where there's no risk, which is not possible right now. I don't see a need to add an additional layer of risk to my Bitcoin.
You know, like I'm gonna just continue to say like controversial things, right? Because it's like in all this DeFi farming stuff, we've got all these people that are taking crazy risk to earn returns. Like some of them are high, some of them aren't high, but there seemingly is a lot of capital out there that is willing to take smart contract risk to earn extra money. And so I do think that if at least some of the Bitcoin like diehards have that same view, there's some community of them that might be willing to take some risk to earn extra money.
Sure, and those, I mean, I would say the majority of those people are gamblers, right? They're just gambling right now, so they're willing to take that risk. So if you ask me, I'm not into gambling, so I'm not interested in poker. Poker is not gambling, by the way. It's all skill.
It's skill. You know, the way I look at it, it's like I kind of agree with you, Hart, right? And I agree with Charlie too. Like, you know, in the end of the day, it's an asset, and I believe it's an amazing asset. And it's amazing. It's probably the best collateral ever invented, and that could be used in places digitally or, you know, non-digitally, where you have the ability to leverage as an asset for getting different types of things. At the same time, you know, if you have a bunch of Bitcoin and a bunch of ETH, you know, why not just use the ETH, right? Like, I think that's you know, if you have a bunch of other coins, so why not just leverage them? But if you don't, I can see why someone would want to move their Bitcoin over and use that specific asset.
Thank you.
Yeah.
4-3.
I saw it.
By the way, Hart, on that hand that we were playing together, I had 9 ace. I had a top pair, top kicker.
Yeah.
When I pushed you all.
I had ace 5, I think. So.
Good. I won it, so I'm happy about that. I was concerned for the straight. That's why I pushed it.
I'm just looking forward to the Tron versus ETH debates that are going to kick up next week if Tron keeps doing this well price-wise. I mean, the Bitcoin ETH fights are fun on Twitter, but the Tron and ETH ones, that's what really gets me going. Those are fun to watch.
They're the best.
It's going to be great. You got TFI, you got DeFi.
Is it TFI? Is that the name?
I think Justin's calling it DeFi, but they should call it TFI. I think they have a
definitely
chance
should call
right
it TFI.
Should call it TFI. I think the other chains should get in there. I think Ripple actually tweeted something about DeFi today. What do they say? They have some what do they call it? Ripple wants in on the DeFi price appreciation. I can't find it now.
We're right back.
I think this Tron and ETH thing is going to heat up, man. You know, I don't think it eventually takes, mind share away from ETH. But the fact of the matter is like the people that are participating in these things on ETH are total degenerates that are moving their money around on code that doesn't matter, hasn't been checked or whatever. Yep. So it's like they don't give a fuck. So if it's like a coin's going to go up, I'm in. And in the short term, I think that's going to make Tron look pretty darn good, especially because ETH's fees are just ridiculous. So people are going to be, that's just going to be the whole narrative.
Like Tron becomes the ultimate degen chain?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Honestly, yeah.
It pretty much already was, but I guess.
It already was, right?
Yeah.
All the gambling dApps are on Tron.
Yep. Plus, like geographically, trends happen at different times. So, if DeFi has already been kind of big in the West, but maybe not so much in the East, or they were like dismissive or didn't believe in it as much, with ETH and all these projects doing these insane returns and yield farming, giving these insane, yields, if all of a sudden kind of now like a different geographical region catches on to that, maybe Tron benefits. Who knows?
I have this feeling you own a lot of Tron, Luke.
No, it's honestly, I wish I owned a lot more. I was on the first leg of the trade, and now I really don't have too much at all, and it's more been painful for me watching. But like I'm excited about it because I just think there's going to be so many more trades in this cycle. Like there's going to be so many opportunities.
There's definitely going to be. That's for sure. Luke, have you looked into any of like the pre-sales, any like this total garbage shit, or you stay?
No, I don't. I have not gotten too degen. I also don't. I don't know. Like it's really hard for like if I'm trading, like I know what my risk is. I know what I can lose each day. I kind of have a system. It's like if all of a sudden now I have to be doing research and in Telegram groups and figuring out if this code is a scam, like I'm just not really set up to win in the pre-sale environment right now. I haven't been in the pre-sale game at all.
I haven't either. I don't intend to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the pre-sale, all that token sale stuff's gonna be as hot as it was in 2017. I think that's a sign that things get frothy.
Yeah, I might have a couple good weeks, but
yeah, I don't think it's going to be a winning bet month over month. But we'll see. I could easily be wrong on that.
Good bet. I had a straight and a flush draw.
That's why I bet pot.
Yeah, it wasn't really worth it unless I felt lucky.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping you didn't feel lucky. I didn't think. I thought you were gonna push it, and then I was in a tough spot, and I was thinking like, okay, You know, maybe you had the 3 there and you're just calling me thinking I was just spewing off, and it would have been, you know, an all in there would have been a potentially good raise.
Yeah, it would have been. I mean, it's tough to go all in when you don't have the best hand.
Of course.
It's always tough. I mean, if I thought you might be bluffing, then it would have been a good move, because I had a lot of outs even if you had an okay hand. But I was pretty sure you had it. So.
Yeah, well, the sign was there at raise pre-flop.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard to buy back in. You already, you know, don't worry about that. We'll keep track of everything. Just mark it down in the chat, and then go to menu and click add more chips.
Oh, that's how I do it.
And then click 1,000.
Mm-hmm. Man, Chris, you been watching this hockey?
Man, I'm not a hockey guy. I'm a basketball guy.
Oh, okay.
Hence,
what's going on with hockey?
You being in Canada? I think I did. I think you told me you're a basketball guy.
It's a massive game right now. Raptors are down 2-0 in the series, and we're up 1 point and with like 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We lose this, it's like nail in the coffin.
Oh man.
Wait, Chris, you're in Toronto?
Yeah.
Nice. I'm Canadian.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey. Watching hockey.
See, like all these things already. Like he's like, Luke's like, oh, I've been literally hanging out with you for 20 weeks in a row, and I've said 1,000 times I don't like hockey. But you're Canadian, right? You're Canadian. Right?
Hey, Chris, do you know Mike from Canada? You know, like...
Mike from Canada. He's such a good dude. That guy. I actually do know Mike. He's like a smoker.
Yeah, there actually is a Canadian Mike.
There actually is a Canadian Mike. There's also a future ninja.
Yeah.
That's funny. Oh boy. So Andrew, what's the latest and greatest? I know a few months ago I remember hearing Purse was shutting down, and then Purse wasn't shutting down. Like, what's been going on?
Yeah, we're just kind of in limbo. I mean, I guess like some of you guys in here have been pretty old school about everything, but the crypto world, I mean, everything going on in the crypto world is a little bit different from what we like imagined, kind of like happening in the beginning. Like I imagined all this playing out. Definitely thought people would be using these things more.
How did you imagine it playing out? I'd love to.
All right. Well, so when we started with Bitcoin was what, $250? And if you would have told me Bitcoin would be over 10,000, I would have imagined widespread usage. And if you kind of compare like the usage, I mean, the usage moved on to other things, right? Like speculation and things like that. And I mean, I guess there isn't a single line answer as to like why all this kind of happened, but I guess we just kind of felt like we weren't really sure what to do with all this. But I guess like, yeah, this year's been a weird year, and we're kind of like, took some time to strategize and think about things. Actually, Bobby here has been really helpful, kind of thinking through things, yeah, we're not ready to like kind of announce plan forward yet, but we'll definitely, Purse will definitely be around. So if you guys want, I presume you guys all shop on Amazon, use Purse, save 15 to 20% on everything there.
Well, what's interesting is, obviously I've known Purse for a long time, right? And there's been an explosion of projects, Lolly and this and that kind of have a level of similarity, so that for me was like, there shows to be some use case. But why wouldn't you guys be able to take advantage of that same use case if other companies are raising big money and doing it and all that?
Well, one of the interesting things that we found out, just kind of talking after we made the announcement, talking to all the companies that are related to commerce. I mean, They're outside the exchanges. I mean, it's very hard to kind of like, I mean, a lot of these businesses like aren't really like, I'm not entirely sure that any of these models are actually like truly proven, other than just kind of new companies raising capital and this kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, no, I definitely think there's been kind of a big shift towards speculation overall in the whole industry, and we obviously have to adapt to the market as opposed to kind of fighting it. But yeah, I mean, as a company over the 6 years, and we've done a lot of other things. We started Purse in 2014, launched Bcoin, which is an alternative Bitcoin implementation. 2017, we're involved in Handshake that launched earlier this year, in 2020. So, and we've done a lot of different things. Yeah, the first announcement kind of thing. I mean, it wasn't financially motivated. We have a significant amount of cash kind of in the company. We're just kind of like thinking about what's the best use of time, what's the best use of the resources, and kind of like, and we're probably going to restructure a little bit too, because we really ran the company more like a studio than like your traditional startup that focuses on one thing.
Not to sound too degen Chad, but talk about what Rob and I were mentioning before. Some of the different token launch mechanics, incentivized action mechanisms that could be implemented, leveraging this liquidity mining craze and all this type of stuff, that could be really interesting for Purse, right? Like, you guys are already at a point where it was, hey, maybe it doesn't make as much sense to run Purse the way it was being run. Maybe giving governance up to the community, maybe having the ability to incentivize the type of actions that you want your users to take and give them the ability to earn a token. I think that could be really cool actually for you guys.
Yeah, that is an interesting idea.
All I know is if you were to say, hey, we've been around since 2014, we're launching a liquidity mining initiative and you can earn X amount, or it would obviously just explode. But that once again, that's the Chad brain.
So Chris wants you to go full into DeFi, all your chips in DeFi.
Token launch, yield farming.
Yeah, exactly. Yield farming versus the new yield farming.
Basically, when's the pre-sale is what we're asking.
Pre-sale right now.
When's
I want to know first.
Oh, man.
Hey, Andrew, you guys, I don't know if you've heard, but for Litecoin, we're actually doing extension blocks with Mimblewimble. I know you guys did the first extension block implementation for Segwit. Was it Segwit 2x?
It wasn't Segwit 2x. It was a separate proposal. Extension blocks was a soft fork.
It was similar.
Yeah.
The idea was to do Segwit as a soft fork with extension blocks, right? Well, actually, not Segwit. You were just doubling the block size, right?
No. So the block size, I mean, the original plan was, or the original proposal was, like the main chain would be still 1 megabyte, and then the extension block would activate Segwit.
Got it.
Yeah.
So we are actually going through with extension blocks. We'll see how well that goes.
So extension blocks, Mimblewimble in the extension block. Is that the idea?
Yeah, so the extension block would just be Mimblewimble. So you would move coins from the main chain to the extension block, and once you're there, then everything is Mimblewimble.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool idea.
Can it come back, Charlie? Or I don't know the.
Yeah, you can come back. Yeah.
Just atomic swap, right? It's like two different Litecoin chains.
It kind of is, but it's you're sending coins to an address that holds all the coins that are on the Mimblewimble side, and then if you withdraw coins, you basically destroy the Mimblewimble coins, and then you can create the same amount of coins on the main chain side.
That's cool.
Yeah. So if there's any like inflation bugs on Mimblewimble, there'll be like a rush to getting back on main chain. But then you can't create more coins on main chain than was actually sent to Mimblewimble side.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. When is that coming out?
We're doing like a test net for it end of this month. But it's still going to take some time for us to finish the implementation and test it out, and then it will be miner activated.
And then when that comes out, essentially those are anonymous Litecoins.
Correct. Well, Mimblewimble is not perfect privacy. It's pretty good and it scales really well. But yeah, so once you move over, if you stay there, then your privacy is better. At least better privacy, better fungibility. And then exchanges don't have to support the Mimblewimble extension blocks, and I don't see why any would, at least initially. So you would just have to, if you want to sell your coins, you just have to move them back into the main chain.
So do you have to? So let's say I have Mimblewimble coins, Litecoins. Do I have to move them to a regular Litecoin address before I send it to an exchange?
Likely, yes.
Or can I send directly from a Mimblewimble Litecoin into a regular Litecoin address?
You can send it directly into a Litecoin address, yeah, into an exchange address. But you probably, I haven't thought too much about it. You probably want to like do it yourself, send it to your own wallet first before you move it to the exchange.
Okay, because you can't prove it's yours afterwards. So let me ask you. So address format. What's the address format? Would
yeah,
it be
because
like
if the exchange returns it for any reason, like if they don't like your KYC and they just bounce your deposit back to you, it would go into like an address that's not controlled by anyone, right? So
wait, why wouldn't it be? Wouldn't it still be controlled by you? Or once you send it
no,
away
because
from
if you withdraw from the Mimblewimble extension block, the coins will come out of like a holding address.
I see.
That basically holds all the coins inside Mimblewimble.
Charlie, what's the address format for the Mimblewimble? Is it a different address format? It won't be L or M, right? Do you know that yet?
No, it's not. For Mimblewimble, like right now, you have to do interactive sends, so you have to communicate with the receiver.
Oh, really? Okay. So for my Bally wallet, I can't have a cold storage version of the Mimblewimble Litecoin.
For the Bally, no, you can't. People are still working on like non-interactive ways to do Mimblewimble.
Ooh, three-way. Oh.
Really?
Oh man, that got big quick.
Jesus, I got destroyed.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, what happened?
Oh, did the flush get there? Wait, what? Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say. That's so weird.
Wow.
I thought I had that.
I thought I had that too, Rob.
So did Charlie getting it in there with a straight. Yeah. Oh man.
3 straight.
Well, I didn't like. Yeah, one hand beat me, right? I didn't expect
like two.
They paid me to ask you questions to distract you with your small straight.
How do you?
That's pretty wild. 2 straights over.
I don't even know how to buy in. I haven't done that in a long time.
He's never done that. Charles never had to buy in.
Charlie, it's in the top left. Menu, add more chips.
I thought if you click on your own profile, it'll let you buy in, or it does it automatically. It's kind of weird.
Click add more chips in the top.
Top left.
Huh. Okay.
It's a button I'm all too familiar with.
Charlie, Mimblewimble, if I control Litecoin of Mimblewimble, is it via private key or is it some more?
Private key.
Other, is the format the same? Is it still a classic?
Yeah, I think it's the same. I actually haven't looked into it too. It's just a long string of bytes, right? So I don't know if what the format, the user format is for a private key for Mimblewimble.
I'd be interested in supporting it.
Why don't you look into supporting like Grin and Beam right now? Because our Mimblewimble stuff is based off of Grin. But if you can support Grin, you can support Litecoin Mimblewimble. But I don't think you will be able to do that right now because there's no non-interactive support. So you can't say just have an address where people can send funds to.
Why is that? That's so weird. That is so weird.
It's just the
weird.
crypto
I think I'm mining Grin.
requires like a handshake.
That sucks.
I mean, it's one of the reasons why like Grin and Beam haven't taken off, right? Because it's not it's not easy to use. Yeah.
I think too much of crypto is being designed by geeks, and they're always optimizing for the cool and the sexy edge case, and they're not considering enough for normal people and usability.
That's 100% true.
Yep.
The funny part about that is lately the market's actually been rewarding that though. Like the stranger and more niche and more just kind of ridiculous you make your use case and just like make it a straight experiment, just a monetary experiment, the market's rewarding that. We're in like a very weird cycle right now.
Well, Luke, what people are building are video games.
Yeah.
The people are building video games with money.
Yeah.
Like all of this stuff. And the more you can stack incentives and more like layers of like multiplayer-ness of the video game, it's just a video game for nerds with money. And it's kind of fun, man.
It is
like if you
fun,
want to be a DJ, it can be kind of fun.
It is pretty fun.
Especially fun for the arcade that's offering these games to people.
Well, what is the arcade in this case, Because it's all sort of like made by a billion people.
Well, Uniswap is kind of the arcade.
Uniswap's the arcade.
Like it's basically people who are funding and the people like the early people in the Ponzi scheme, right? Everybody loses money in the Ponzi scheme except for the early people.
Well, you know who's making the most money? Miners.
Oh man, yesterday was a record, 17 million for ETH miners.
Oh.
How much?
17 million in one day.
In fees?
It's dwarfing Bitcoin fees. I mean, it's crazy. Raise your hand if you paid 600 G-Way in the last day.
How much?
600.
Raise your hand if you don't want to look.
I don't know what a G-Way is.
I don't believe that, Charlie. I don't believe that.
I don't know what a G-Way. I know it's like a measure for gas, but I don't know.
There you go. Yeah.
I don't know how much a G-Way is. I mean, like why are we talking about G-Way instead of ETH?
What's average? 150?
No, it's not 150. Average is like 5, okay? Like nowadays, so you guys all know how Bitcoin and Litecoin and all these things have like fees. You say how many sats do you want to pay, right?
Yeah.
How much is a G-Way? Is it like a sat?
No, it's actually like, so the difference is on like Bitcoin or Litecoin, like all the transactions are equally difficult to process. Okay.
Right.
Like you're moving the same bits and the bytes no matter how big the transaction is in terms of value.
So there's only one dimension, which is the size of the transaction, and you pay on $1 per size basis.
Correct. So you could like apply how much you're paying per transaction pretty easily. How many sats are you piping in, right?
Yeah.
On Ethereum, different transactions have different difficulties.
Complexity,
right? If you're just sending Ether, that's super simple. If you're doing smart contract stuff, it gets more and more complex, okay?
And what's the most complex? Give me an example of something very complex.
This yield farming
contract deployment.
Super complex.
Okay, go on. Okay, so you have different complexities, and then what? And then you have different size, so it's 2-dimensional?
It's 2 dimensions, complexity and how much you're willing to pay per complexity. So the complexity is how many gas you're using, and then you have a dimension of how much are you paying per gas. Per gas is the G-Way.
Now, who came up with this? I mean,
Vitalik.
I think Vitalik.
Vitalik.
Like is he trying to score points for being smart, or is he trying to score points for being successful here?
It works pretty well. So like in the people who are using Ethereum all the time, they're like, oh, this is a simple transaction. This is super complex. You see both dimensions, and the average user has no idea.
You like that, Luke?
What? I'm trying to wrap my head around that. Oh.
Okay, so Robert continues. So with this complexity and
no idea what I had.
The gas.
Yeah. So there's 3 problems right now.
It's a 3 variable problem. Did you say?
Yeah. So right now there's 3 issues, right? So one is there's more people that are trying to like play all this yield farming, right? So the number of transactions is going up. The second is the complexity of the transactions is going up because the yield farming is getting more and more complex. And
Yes.
the third piece of this is there's congestion, and that's like the gas price, and it's based off the first two. And so the price of gas is going exponential, which is like the second order. How expensive per complexity is going off the chart. So it used to be you pay like 30 cents to do something. Now, because everyone's making so much money so fast, people are paying $50 to like do transactions. They're mashing the send button on these like $50 transactions.
It's also not being optimized at all. Like the math behind it is it's like a very badly designed auction system where people are constantly overpaying. And this is like a known problem. Just people are like, I want to get mine quickly, so let me just pay more, pay a higher gas price, even though they don't really need to. And then it's caused this like cycle up that just.
That's the same.
Well, that happens on
though.
Bitcoin also. That happens on Bitcoin as well.
Wait, but the difference on Ethereum though is that if your transaction doesn't get processed, then you just lose the fee, even though your transaction doesn't get processed. On Bitcoin, if you sign a fee, and it doesn't go through, you get the fee. You don't lose the fee. So I think game theoretically, you'd want to set a higher fee on Ethereum than you would on Bitcoin.
Exactly, and
because you could just lose it all.
Right. The reason for that is Bitcoin or Litecoin or whatever. It doesn't matter if it's like takes a minute, or like 20 or like 300 minutes. The same transaction goes through either way. Right. But on Ethereum, you have all of this state, all of this storage of data, and you're saying only do this transaction if these parameters are true. And the storage and the state on the blockchain is changing. And so your transaction will be invalid in 20 minutes. It might only be valid for like a minute. And so you
pay a $50 fee.
Yeah, or it fails.
Wow. Man, the newbies are laughing at us. The real world is laughing at us.
Yeah, it's complex.
That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
It's like a really shitty database, guys. It's just a really shitty old database, right? No, but like legit, it's like all these banks, like I don't know, JP Morgan runs on like some Cobalt database or something like that. These things do get used, but. And you can play a video game with money on it. You can make a video game with an emoji, and people find it fun.
You can actually code the game into the money. That's the fun part, right? With these burns and rebases and all this shit, right? Like the actual tokens will become in the games now.
Yep.
Like, okay, the nerd thing is, Chris, like you get to design incentive structures, yeah. So you actually get to design incentive structures with money and with your own money. And that's pretty wild. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, the whole thing, everything that's happening now is fucking amazing, right? Like we're seeing real. I don't know, I was gonna say real things happening, but I can't say that. I can't say that. But we're seeing a lot of smart people building cool stuff, and there's a lot of shit that's being built at the same time. But a lot more people are becoming comfortable moving money around anywhere in the world digitally, and that's a step forward.
Well, for DeFi, you see people just creating like casinos right on the fly, and that's why it's so interesting. You can just be the bank, create a casino, and let people play it, and no one can stop you.
I'm here for it.
And it's like hundreds of millions of dollars, that go in. Like that's the crazy part, right? Like that's.
Well, there's a lot of degenerate gamblers in this world. A lot.
There are.
It's a great use case.
Great use case. That's for sure.
Actually, that's true, Charlie. You make a good point. I think humans. I think as a what do you call it? As a species? Civilization, humans,
especially
have this
Asians, right?
mental flaw where a percentage of people are degenerate gamblers, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, call a spade, right? I think Hart mentioned it earlier. Someone mentioned like it's all about speculating. No, actually, it was Andrew. Excuse me. We thought 5 years ago that everyone would be using it for remittance and payments and all this type of stuff, which is obviously not the case. And it's all about speculation, and that speaks specifically into this narrative around gambling, and that's really what's picked up to this point. So.
And then like Chris, like all the COVID shit, like the bored at home day trader type, like if you actually think about the macro environment, it's a time where like there's more people bored at home to farm DeFi tokens than ever before. It's weird timing of the whole thing, too.
Yeah, and it's blowing up the same way Robinhood is blowing up, right? Like, and that's fully legal and like encouraged in a lot of ways. And it's just like this shit is fun. Speculation is fun, and like everyone loves it, and so everyone does it.
Yeah. They get pocket kings, Bobby.
You make it very easy for people to gamble. It works.
I did not have pocket kings.
Yeah, trading blowing up, and then also, I mean, even online poker this year, all the series basically for every single site has been the biggest ever. And
because everyone's stuck at home, huh?
Yeah, part of that's because there's just more money floating around. But I imagine a large factor in that, or a large variable, is because there's so many people sitting at home that either want to gamble, or I guess the kind of sad part is maybe some people have to, right? That's like the only way they can make money. But
let's not encourage that.
I'm just saying it. There are probably some people that are like, how the hell am I going to make money? I'm going to gamble. Not saying it's the right thing, but I'm saying it's probably a fair share of money floating around like that.
Good hand, Charlie.
Thanks.
I don't encourage it.
I mean, what are we doing? Sitting around gambling.
That's true.
But we're gambling for people watching, so that's entertainment. So it's not exactly the same.
There's actually no one watching.
I like that rationalization.
There's no real people watching.
I'm sure we have like
it's all bots.
Yeah. It's like a sentient trading algorithm that's watching, and if we say something like UMA is undervalued, it just goes out and it buys.
Let's check that.
But what's crazy right now
let's try that out.
What's wild is, everyone talks about a fair launch, and if someone tried to do a fair launch today with just the mayhem that's in the market, they'd probably be flooded with boatloads of millions and millions of dollars from degenerates, betting into their whatever idea it is. But even before that, they have this bot ecosystem that's literally just scanning smart contracts consistently to see any real flow, and then they just swarm it. So even if someone tries to say, hey, we're going to launch this fairly, and we'll participate just the same as everyone, and they've busted their ass to it's one thing you just fork a code, change the logo, and launch the next day. But if you actually build something and try and launch it fairly, like Yearn's a good example. If Yearn tried to launch today, it'd be really difficult for anybody that actually built the product and that wants incentive for continuing to build the product to actually have a piece of what they're building.
There's a bot that every single Uniswap token that gets deployed, every token that gets launched on Uniswap, it goes and buys $1,000. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't know. It doesn't care. Every new token pair that's listed on Uniswap, this bot goes out and buys $1,000 as soon as possible.
But doesn't that make sense for someone to keep on creating new tokens and selling it for 1,000?
Maybe it has some intelligence that it looks to see who's doing it or whatever. But so far, this bot has made a fortune.
Assume so.
It's enough times it's some shitcoin that is being deliberately pumped and dumped or whatever. It's people built McAfee bot, people built people built Dave Portnoy bot, and they're watching his Twitter. It's so easy to build bots now.
Dave Portnoy is so yesterday's news now, huh?
Yeah.
That came and went pretty fast.
He was telling everyone to grow a dick today because the markets went down for one day.
Yeah, I saw that. He said he lost $1 million.
48 hours.
He said he lost $1 million today.
He lost $1 million today?
That's what he said in the stock market. He said, grow it. What is that?
How much is he up or down net? Does he track it?
What were you talking about, Luke?
Yeah, Dave Portnoy. I imagine he's up a few million. I don't know. I haven't seen. He used to be pretty open about it. I haven't seen an update for a while.
one thing that is cool about Ethereum.
Oh, nice hand.
Nice hand.
Yeah, but no one plays it. It's not that nice.
It's because you played poorly.
I guess so.
If you know someone's address, you can track their whole performance history, right? You can like watch Chris yield farm, and you can watch how he's making money and losing money, and like all of it's so transparent that if like any of these people are doing this fully on chain instead of like, you know, in their Robinhood account and, you know, Gemini or whatever, you'd be able to like as a public spectator track all of their gains and losses in real time, and it'd be so cool.
Well, we saw that this week, right? With even with sushi, everyone knew that Sam and crew were like 30 million deep. You know, it was
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, you're probably in on it. You're probably like picking the phone. Hey, Sam, count me for a meal. Count me for a meal, Sam. I'm in. Sushi, I'm in.
Where my dog? I didn't know. I was probably the only person on the planet.
Well, that's because you are sushi.
Oh,
Drop the mic. I think people really need to keep an eye on sushi. I think sushi is gonna fucking be pretty intense the next month or two.
Well, it's going to be intense the next 2 days. There's an ongoing vote right now on whether to migrate early.
Well, it was already approved, the vote. It's closed.
Yeah.
Has it been?
But
it's done.
But
now.
like, is it gonna work, guys? Like,
Well, that's
should we make side bets on how much liquidity ports to Sushi Swap, which is absurd?
Well, supposedly you have to do nothing. So like, I don't genuinely know how that's gonna work, but I don't know like what the specific migration plan is. But supposedly as LPs we don't have to do anything.
Well, let's look at the stats right now. How much of Uniswap? 73% of Uniswap is currently staked in Sushi Swap.
Oh, God.
So for because I don't know how closely you guys are following. Like, if that works, that means that in Sunday 10 a.m. Eastern time ish, 74% of all the. Oh, sorry guys, I should play poker here.
No, you're good. I was going to remind you I didn't want you to time out.
So you're saying Sushi Swap will take over all the trading volume, or like 74% of the trading volume in the Uniswap?
No, it's even a step further. So Charlie, this is what happened. So Sushi launches. They say you can farm Sushi by staking these liquidity provider tokens from Uniswap. The only way to get those tokens is to participate on Uniswap as a liquidity provider. So you go to Uniswap, you put in your ETH and SNX, you take that liquidity token that they give you, and then you put it into the staking contracts at Sushi. Through that process, 73% of all liquidity that's being provided that actually keeps Uniswap, running and even tradable, is now potentially being migrated to a new protocol. Is obviously the Sushi, and it was supposed to happen in 10 days, but they upped it to happen within the next few days.
It's the first hostile takeover attempt.
It's evil, guys. It's actually evil.
I genuinely thought that within that 10-day window, Uniswap would announce V3 with a token, and it would like put some type of stipulations on timeframes around how long you need to be staked, whatever, to get this. That would potentially have crushed Sushi Swap, and everyone maybe would have pulled out. But now with this migration happening in 2 days, it's impossible.
I'm guessing that's why they pulled it forward.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a part of it.
Yeah, nice.
Evil. Digital crypto
evil.
warfare.
This is like warfare, and like the memes and the branding are great, but like the Uniswap team built a great product that a lot of people used, and they're getting like attacked in a very hostile way. It's cruel.
It's fair though, right? It's
completely
fair.
Wild West. I was gonna say totally fair.
It's
and
decentralized.
It's less a reflection on Uniswap and more a reflection on customer loyalty. That's what it really is. Because if you're able to build customer stickiness, it wouldn't matter if your technology is open source or not.
Why would there be customer loyalty in this case?
Yeah,
there isn't.
Yeah, but there's no moat basically.
Well, the thesis was that liquidity was a moat, right? So the thesis was that
well, liquidity can move so fast though.
Yeah, that's
really.
the thing. But like, this is a great example of like $1 billion of liquidity moving inside 4 days.
Yeah, I mean they move
it's
within like half
fucking
an
nuts.
hour of like a random token launching. So like EM got, or all these tokens got like $500 million of liquidity in like half an hour, right?
This what scares me. This is too fast, and if this migration goes bad, and everyone loses all those fucking liquidity tokens, oh my god, that's gonna be a disaster.
That would, but in their defense, there are so many things acquiring so many millions of dollars on like completely unaudited code, and I blame Sushi for asking for audits after they launched. But at this point, there's enough publicity, eyes on it, and auditors that the risks have been decreased.
Yeah, the risk have been decreased on what the existing product is, Rob, which is a staking contract. It's not a migration tool in a DEX.
They have made the migration contracts available.
But they've done minor
been
testing,
audited.
supposedly. They audited the migration contracts, hard?
Yeah, well, everything has basically been audited. There's two I don't know I don't want to overspeak, right? I haven't looked at this in too much detail, but they've got 2 audited firms that have looked at it, and enough people have put real eyes behind it that like I think you can kind of consider this audited at this point.
That doesn't really mean that much. I mean, a lot of audited
it doesn't mean a whole
contracts
lot.
get hacked.
You migrate, you build a migration script and contract in the matter of what, 4 days?
You need time, right? You basically need time for people to attack it, for it to mature.
That's 100% true. Time is like the truest test of security for any system. This thing has been around for ages.
I completely agree. Like putting $1 billion into this system, going from 0 to $1 billion is like irresponsibly ludicrous, right? I fully agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, it's bound to happen where one of these things get hacked and people lose a lot of money. It's just a matter of time.
It's a matter of time that happens too.
Yeah.
Rob and eventually Hart are just going to keep their fingers crossed and hope it's not them.
Well, it's not going to be Compound. I mean, to be honest, like, it doesn't move fast. It doesn't list a lot of assets. The process for upgrading it is super slow. It's been running for years. Like, it's not going to be Compound. It's going to be one of these things that's like moving incredibly fast.
Yeah.
Like,
and also because people won't be trying to target Compound because they don't expect it to be easy to hack. So they're going to be targeting other lower hanging fruits.
Yeah.
That's where the money is at. Mm-hmm. Try to hack these contracts.
Oh yeah, the amount of people that are trying to hack this shit right now is crazy. Probably.
I don't think there's that many people trying.
You don't think so?
I think there's like 5 people who are trying.
They're all smart contract auditors.
Yeah.
5 people? There's no way, Rob, in the world. That's crazy.
Chris, I think there's more people. More people are launching their own degen coin than there are like hacking this shit. And frankly, Charlie, I think that's where the easy money is. If you want to make money, that's what you should do. Go and launch your scam coin.
Right. There's not that many smart contract black hats. Like, there are definitely smart contract black hats who are trying to steal as much money as they can, guaranteed. But like, the space of them is actually not huge. It's not like there's like 20,000. It's not an army. There's there's like 50 people who are like deeply knowledgeable enough and malicious.
That's true. There's not that many people who really have the ability to do it, and those you have. Yeah. Out of that pool of people, you have to find people who are actually malicious and don't care about the consequences.
It's a fine line between fucking hacking smart contracts and launching a scam coin, right?
Well, it's much easier to launch a scam coin.
Yeah.
Than to hack a smart contract.
I guess I meant ethically.
Yeah.
Ethically, it's easier to launch a scam coin than like to maliciously steal money.
Well, yeah.
Or you can do sushi swap and kind of do a little bit of both.
I would estimate there's like 200 people who are so technical that they can like hack smart contracts capably on Ethereum, and like probably 50 are malicious and 150 are white hat, and like try to find the flaws first.
Yeah, and those people can probably take advantage of their abilities to actually make money from playing with DeFi than to actually hack it.
They do. The best hedge funds right now are hiring those people.
Yeah.
To analyze yield farms like 4 minutes after launch.
The funny thing is, it's like, you know, yes, from a technical perspective, makes sense, those types of resources. But, you know, I hear there's also analysts that aren't as technically savvy that are also in high demand to just wrap their head around this stuff. And like, that to me just shows how little hedge funds are in the know. Like, if Chads and Degens can figure their way around, you know, making those types of bets and those hedge funds can't, it's like fucking hilarious.
Wait, Rob, what kind of hedge funds, out of curiosity?
Hedge funds that are doing DeFi. There's a number of hedge funds that are starting to dabble in like interacting with smart contracts and yield farming and all these things.
No.
Are these crypto native hedge funds?
Yeah, they're very like the most crypto native, like the deepest. There's not even that many.
Yeah, I want to imagine. I'm like curious what their size is.
Yeah,
they're not big.
Yeah, they're not big.
I
I
don't
mean,
know anyone's secrets, but I'm an LP in 1 or 2 hedge funds that are like doing DeFi.
yeah. And do you identify them as like VCs, or do you actually think of them as hedge funds, and their fee structure and also like how they mark their books is closer to a hedge fund versus a VC?
Yeah, there's a new breed of hedge funds that's like very technically capable, that like understands how smart contracts work and understand where yield comes from and like all of these things, and is like getting it. So like there's so much money to be made right now.
I know, it's crazy. You're in a better position at Compound than at the block.
Yeah, you're gonna see kids leave Wall Street to go into DeFi. Like,
well, they are doing that, Rob. Like, you probably get resumes that way.
Yeah.
I ignore them all. I get like 400 a week.
Hey guys, is this Mike from Canada too, by the way?
No.
That's another Mike.
US Mike.
Dude, that's the
Sorry,
worst.
Mike.
No
I thought Chris knew Mike from Canada, and he did apparently, but it's not you.
This is the mic that will take all your money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, both mics do pretty well at that. Both mics take our money.
Hey Ed, before I forget, did you buy in like 20 minutes ago?
I did, and I posted it up there.
Oh, you did. My bad.
Shit! Did I buy in a second time? No, I think that was the only time I bought in today. But I
saw you sitting out, and then you had 1,000 chips.
Yeah, no, I think this is 2,000 chips for me for the day.
Good.
Yeah, I'm cutting myself off at 3 buy-ins.
Yeah, right. I'll see you at 3 a.m.
I like how Mike is the only one with at-home spectators.
I know. Look at that crowd.
You know, this is a great week for me. I've been working from Turks and Caicos all week.
Nice.
Look at this tan line. I got.
I was gonna say, I don't know if it was the light, but you got that tan line. Dude.
Yeah, the facial hair doesn't hide it too well. But I tried.
Pretty good week.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, man, it looks tropical. You got like the fan. It looks summery there for sure.
The shirt, the fan.
Yeah,
none of it was staged. Don't worry.
You got the whole thing going on, man.
Tried. Do it for the crowds.
Nicely done, Chris.
Listen, the Pocket Kings work sometimes.
It works 80% of the time.
Exactly. Well, you know, obviously you're concerned an ace comes up there, but then, you know. I wouldn't have even bet if there wasn't a flush draw.
So who has predictions for next week? What unexpected shit is going to happen?
It's so hard.
Well, if you can predict it, then it won't be unexpected.
Yeah. I think next
especially I can tell you, but I have to kill you.
Illuminati shit.
It's Illuminati stuff. That's Bitcoin OG stuff. Bobby's really in control of the market. I don't know if you knew that. But.
Yeah, Chris, you're not supposed to say that anymore. I explained,
So now I'm dead.
Yeah.
So now you're gonna kill me now too. We're both on the hit list.
Bobby, do you know the Bogdanovs and the Sminem?
The what?
All right, never mind then.
I don't.
Never mind that.
All right, then we're in different clubs.
I think next week we're gonna see obviously a bunch of new shitcoins launch, new farming jokes come out, and I think we might see another
jokes
with Sushi Swap. I think that's what's gonna happen next week. That's the season right now, and if anything's gonna capture some attention from the market, it's gonna be that crap. So I think it's gonna be a little more like this week.
Yeah.
What tracks all the new shitcoins?
What attracts them?
No, what is there a tracker that shows all the shitcoin launches?
I guess you can call it CoinGecko. I don't know.
If you go to CoinGecko and you look at the trending searches, you can get a pretty good sense of the recent shit.
That's another interesting thing, right? So CoinMarketCap over the years has built, this dominant position specifically around SEO actually, and that's how they're just garnering. And obviously, a lot of people that have been in the space have used them for a long time. And they're really the only player in town. But similar to 2017, when so many coins were launching, CoinMarketCap was kind of around. It wasn't that pretty. There really wasn't much to it, but it was the only game in town. Now with all these random shitcoins launching, CoinGecko has really just differentiated themselves by just being the first to list it. So they'll list it, have the price feed, they'll have the chart, they'll have the correct contract, they'll have the Twitter feed or the Twitter profile, and they're just eating CoinMarketCap's lunch right now. It's an interesting thing to see.
Sorry, Mike. I was typing away with something. I wasn't trying to slow roll you.
Wow. Wow.
Not bad.
Chris,
It's hard to get aces to go to the river, to show at the river. Not easy. That took some skill.
Chris, do you have any stats on any of the web stats on CoinMarketCap versus CoinGecko over the last month or two?
I don't, but I would assume CoinGecko's garnered is taking a lot of share here. But let's take a look.
Yeah,
but the real question, I guess you can look at just web traffic, I guess. So that'd probably be the most vanilla indicator.
I'm not expert at this stuff, right?
Well, I haven't switched over yet, so.
You haven't what? Oh, you haven't switched
I haven't switched over to CoinGecko.
You will.
Haven't yet? What are you using?
I feel like everybody's going there.
CoinMarketCap?
They're gonna, I feel like Binance just keeps misstepping with the CoinMarketCap.
Well, they just announced this week that all leadership at CoinMarketCap left.
Yeah, what's the story there?
That's normal.
You tell me. You run the block. You know what the fucking story is.
That's so I'll say this in front of Ed, even though I think his plan is different. But that's the typical acquisition, right? Every time it's acquisition, the whole point is someone else bought you and someone else wants to run it.
Yep. We've defied expectations since 2015. Don't worry, I'm all right with it.
I think CoinMarketCap has proven, in its time to be a very different, have a very different ethos from the leadership. Like a lot of the leaders were anonymous, right? They weren't even known figures and stuff. So I think that is, in my opinion, when even Binance acquired them, I just assumed that there would be some type of butting heads, right? And they wouldn't make sense for a proper integration. But you're right too, Bobby.
Yeah, but nobody has any inside story. on the CoinMarketCap departures? Come on, Mike. You don't know anything?
They all got murdered. The people who knew the inside stories.
All right.
I don't, but I'm all ears. So let me know.
All right, so total visits. I'm gonna get your numbers here, Hart. Okay. For the two.
What do you use, Chris?
Similar web.
Yeah. Okay.
So 33 million visitors on CoinMarketCap. I'm assuming that's last month.
Money?
33 million.
33 million uniques.
That's what it says on Similar Web.
Page views.
And then CoinGecko's 14 million.
That's more than I would have thought, man. They're like catching up quick.
Yeah, man. Me too. I wonder what CoinGecko's historical is. What's interesting, there's more page visits, same bounce rate, similar duration.
More page visits on CoinGecko?
Yeah, just a slight amount.
The CoinMarketCap's got 33.27 million visits. I don't think that's unique.
Yeah.
That's not unique. That's an aggregate. I mean, unique visitors. They don't have that 33.27 million people showing up. I guess that's what I meant.
Yeah, I think it's just how many unique visits.
Yeah, so they're doing like 25 million.
2 million people going, 15 times.
So these are the same numbers they had back in like February.
And this is what similar.
Yeah, they're doing 95 million impressions. Interesting.
But you were saying that Blockfolio has like over 100 million.
No, we did 225 million impressions in the last month.
Wow.
Yeah. We were over 150 million in like February.
Is that total page views?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's a little bit kind of a weird thing because it's like, how do we measure it, right? If you pull down and refresh, it counts as a new impression, right? But
if you click on a new page.
But that said.
Oh, so when you pull down to refresh the price, it shows that that's a new impression?
Yeah, but that said, we can charge for an ad when somebody pulls down to refresh. It's like a new ad will pop up.
Right? I give you 90 impressions a day then.
Yeah. That's it. Expect more.
Yeah. I'm just watching Ether go up and down.
So it's like, even though it's not the same as like a web page view, like we can show another banner ad in that pull down time, in that when they pull to refresh.
Hey Rob, what projects, and I guess you could say even use the word tokens too, but which projects or tokens that are publicly traded are you a fan of nowadays for the medium to long?
Well, I don't ever show anything, so I'll just say I'm always a fan of Bitcoin, Ether, and
Tron.
Come on, man.
Tron.
And Tron.
I'm sure
Robert's in everything, man. Nobody knows it though.
Yeah. I don't.
I'm trying to get some alpha here. Like you can't even give a brother some alpha, I guess, huh?
All right. Here's the alpha. You ready?
Sure.
Only yield farm if it's the first time someone's conducting a new magic trick. If it's the third time you're seeing the magic trick, don't.
Great alpha. Fantastic.
It's pretty fair. Second time's probably pretty good too, right?
Yeah, second time is shorter time frame.
So the first time you see a brand new magic trick, the token it's gonna appreciate in the long term. The second time, you don't want to really bet on that token. If you can make some short-term yield, fine. The third time, just run.
So Rob, I listened to your advice. My first magic trick was Bitcoin. And now I'm seeing all these other magic tricks. I'm like, what am I going to do?
If they're brand new tricks, though, then maybe there's something there. If it's a clone of Bitcoin, if it's just Litecoin, you know.
Yeah.
It's a good call. Good call.
The third time you see it, you know, if it's like Feathercoin. Dogecoin, just run.
So like Bitcoin
Where's
Cash.
Dogecoin trading? Where's it trading these days?
Dogecoin?
Yeah.
I think it's on Binance.
Does it have a value? People.
Yeah, of course.
Dogecoin's still massive.
Yeah. Wow. I haven't looked at this in a while. Shit.
Was it hundreds of
Dogecoin
millions?
is the top 40 coin. It's $350 million cap.
What's the oldest altcoin around?
Still liquid?
Namecoin's still around. Namecoin's pretty liquid.
Is it being used? Is Namecoin still like?
No,
is it
not at all. I think they're still around.
Guess how much volume of Namecoin in the past 24 hours?
$10,000.
$700.
700?
700.
Okay, I guess it's not really around then.
It's only on Yobit, and that volume might not even be fair.
What?
Yobit and Livecoin.
Sorry.
That's so rigged.
Right.
So are you saying Yobit inflated the Namecoin volume to $700?
I'm not saying they did it, but apparently Livecoin and South Exchange did. I don't know.
Okay.
It's hard to know. They don't even count Yobit's volume in that $700. $5 million cap.
Yeah, if you don't count Namecoin, then Litecoin's the oldest.
No.
So here's how we can tell if there's AI trading bots watching the stream. If we just keep on talking about Namecoin, let's see if the volume goes up.
Are you sure bots are
Or here's an alternative. Larry is watching, and he's going to do an article tomorrow on Namecoin, and Namecoin's going to go up. So either or works, right? Like,
I heard Larry's obsessed.
Is Larry a complete degen right now, Mike?
No.
He's not.
I wish.
Dude, he missed our interview yesterday. What was he, like, yield farming or something? What was going on?
No, he's like 6 hours ahead of East Coast time, so it's tough.
I'm just kidding.
I know. He
yield farming. I can guarantee that.
he has a great new fiance.
Very nice. I see him, Bob.
Hey, Hard, if you want to keep playing, bro, just buy in and send me.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
You don't have to send it now. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Chris, do you take UMA?
Pardon?
Do you take UMA tokens?
Yeah.
No UMA.
Do you take Namecoin?
No.
Do you take Namecoin? I like that.
You can send them the real Bitcoin. I'm sure they'll like that.
Yeah, do you take Litecoin?
Well, if Charlie wanted to send me Litecoin, I'd let Charlie only send me Litecoin. And I want Genesis Litecoin only, Charlie.
Genesis Litecoin.
You know, you can't move those coins, right? The 50 coins in the Genesis blog, you can't move them.
Wow.
So sadly, I can't.
So you can have the private key, but you can't move them.
Yeah.
Charlie, are you thinking, will you ever open source those private keys? Those Genesis Litecoins?
Maybe. I still use that
I think you should do
address,
it. I think you should do it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Just say everyone is Litecoin Satoshi.
Yeah, but if I open source it, then I can't collect all the random coins that people send to that address.
Okay, move those. You can move those.
Mike's laughing.
Do you get a lot of that?
I guess some.
Do you sell it?
I spend it. I use it for stuff.
Do you really do that?
Let me see. Litecoin blog 0. Let's see how much is sitting there right now.
Yeah, what gets sent to you the most?
What do you mean?
Like what coin gets sent to you the most?
Oh, it's Litecoin, right?
Litecoin? Okay.
Yeah, you can only send Litecoin to that address.
Andrew, you see that flush? I tried to show it.
Yeah, nice. How do you show it? How do you show your hand?
There's a button you got to hit real quick.
Yeah, so no, I don't even think Andrew has it on. So Andrew, if you go into the options, so if the main
Go to menu.
the main no,
Go
the
to
main
menu.
lobby. No, you have to go to the main lobby under options.
Main lobby.
There's a thing that says table settings, and then under table settings, there's a button for auto muck. You gotta unclick that.
Whoa, crazy bet! Such a small bet.
Hold on. Last time
Oh,
Ed did this.
Call him.
Last week Ed did this. He had ace three
boy.
off, I believe. Was that right? Ed, what do you have? You had something else? Am I remembering that wrong?
I think I had like.
Luke, your memory's too good. You're not allowed to play. Your memory's too good.
I had a premium hand last time.
Last time you had a
He meant to press 40, but he added a 0 by accident. That's why I came up 400.
No, that's what I thought last time. But did he have a good hand or did he have a bad hand?
I think he had like a
Definitely wasn't like a best hand.
like a decent hand. It wasn't like aces or kings.
You're the better player, Luke.
You can beat him, Luke.
You can outplay him after
You can
the
do
flop.
it, Luke.
Feel the
May the
force.
force be with you.
All right, I'll hang around.
Oh.
Okay, let's go. This is all skill now.
I forgot to tell you.
All
The
skill.
force is only with you if you have position on the other guy.
I was gonna say out of position.
Got it.
Now you
Got
tell
it.
him.
Good to know. Yeah.
You're out of position, you're out of force.
Good to know here. Okay. Okay.
You kept one chip. That's the best part.
Come on. Yeah, just do it.
Chip in the chair.
Oh my
I like how you
God.
kept one
This
chip. That's
is play a mind game.
It's totally like it's really my game.
It's a total mind game.
Go all in. You may fold.
I put them all in. You'll fold.
The worst is
Yeah,
if he
I mean,
times
there's
out.
what they call, you know how they call equity value or what
Then
they
you
call
gotta show it
top
no
value.
matter
Whatever.
what.
This is called
Oh,
mistake value, right?
Show
So if you
it.
go all
Oh.
in, there's
Show
a
it.
chance you might.
Oh my God.
Ed's not going to show it.
Good win, Ed.
He's not
Good
going to
win.
show it.
Fucking pussy, eh? Wow.
Oh, that's so close to call that.
I had ace three the other time that I did that.
You did
It
have
was
ace
ace-three
three.
off.
Okay. What'd you have there?
Ace 4. That's what I
My
remember
wife,
so
won't let me
clearly.
say- my wife won't let me tell you guys my hand anymore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just to sign off on it.
She doesn't like me to leak alpha.
She needs to sign off on it.
Ed, where are all the pets you've been telling us about?
Oh, dude, I'll have them come in, man. Give me a little bit. Yeah, I got a ton of pets. I'm in my office. I close the door because otherwise they'd be barking up a storm.
I'm gonna come out to California, I think, in the next month.
Cool. Hit me up, man.
I will.
Like you traveling a bit?
Well, I figured I made it out to Turks and Caicos, so what else?
that's a good hand.
I get to take this call. Sorry, guys. Be right back.
So if anyone cares, I know no one's a basketball fan, but the Raptors hit a buzzer beater to win the
Don't
game.
care. Don't care. Don't care.
They Canadian?
Fucking guy.
Let's
just,
hear.
just today? Just now?
Just now?
I don't know. I don't remember. I forgot. Yeah, just like 20 minutes ago.
In Canada.
No. Everyone, the whole NBA is in Florida playing the bubble, in the bubble, what they call it. So
Is it
everyone,
like-
all NBA players, they like tested them 10 times.
They're
Then they
locked
sent
inside
NBA
this bubble.
players to the Disney complex, and they've been there like literally just playing basketball every day for I don't know how many months now. But
So Chris, wasn't there one guy who got like a special note to go to a funeral, and then was found at a strip club?
yeah, Lou Williams from the Clippers. Yeah, he got a special, and then his argument was, if you're not from Atlanta you wouldn't know that no one goes to the strip club for the girls, they go for the food. So I technically was just going for the good food. That was his plan.
What?
I heard it was like actually the chicken wings specifically the chicken wings.
That makes it legit.
That was like the best thing ever.
Hey, but I have something to say about that. I go to Hooters for the chicken wings.
Yeah, definitely.
And I read the articles. So. You ever? I mean, the weirder part of that story is what strip clubs are open right now with Corona going on.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's wild that he went to the strip club, but like, what? How is that club
Florida,
even open?
man.
I guess in Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, that place.
Well, no, it was Atlanta. It was Atlanta.
Okay.
Oh,
No,
fine.
So Chris, who hit the buzzer beater?
So a player on the Raptors, OG Anunoby, who's kind of like an up and comer. He's on the starting five, but
He's not you kid.
pardon?
He came from Indiana University. I watched him in college.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so it's by far the biggest shot of his career. The Raptors were the game was tied with 15 seconds left, and Boston scored with 0.5 seconds left. The Raptors called it timeout. They were down 2. Then they did this massive inbound pass to OG, who was wide open in the corner, and he hit the 3 to win the game. So it's pretty epic.
That is pretty epic.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, the real game is going on right in your city right now, man. It's Flyers Islanders. Overtime right now.
Oh, nice.
Game 6.
Yeah, they're doing the bubble here.
Yeah. Everyone's there. It's pretty wild to watch.
The hotel there is actually pretty cool. Hotel X. It's like right on the water. It's like a dope spot.
Are all the teams in that one hotel?
I think so. Maybe one other hotel, but yeah. Like they pretty much just shut down the hotel and gave it to them. Race.
God lucky. I'll take being lucky.
Always.
I had to get back my
That was
chips.
a big move there, Luke. King Jack off suit, huh?
Well, Mike was like already all like, I get in a really shitty spot if any ace comes out in the flop, he could kind of just shove, and then it looks like he has an ace. Plus, if I didn't want 3 people in the hand, Mike was kind of already all in.
Nice.
Some justification there.
I justify a lot of pretty sketchy plays. All right, I'm not gonna say it's optimal play.
50 blinds.
It's kind of like it's kind of like yield farming. You gotta degen in there sometimes, and if you're the first one in, sometimes it pays.
It pays heavily. Actually.
It pays very heavily. You're right.
You're playing the player.
We're gonna put it in the chat box, the rebuy, just so it's.
Oh, thanks.
Oh man, this is nuts.
What?
It's OT game.
What game?
Flyers versus Island. You actually have a New York Islanders versus the Philadelphia Flyers.
So what's the over-under for Bitcoin price on December 31st?
I'd say the over-under is all-time high. I think that's a good one.
Not this year, man. I don't think we'll make it this year.
No all-time high this year?
No. I think it's too early. I think it's around 15,000, 14 to 15,000 at year end.
I was going to say 15.
Well, the real question is where's Ethereum by year end? Because that's what's garnering all the attention right now.
Bobby, you think 1,000?
I'm saying 800 Ethereum. 800. Bitcoin 9,000. Ether 800. Market.
You think
Bitcoin 9,000, huh? Wow.
And the reason is, I think the stuff on Ethereum and maybe Tron for Luke is going to capture a lot of attention and a lot of yield and a lot of hype. And people are not going to want assets that are sort of stable.
I appreciate the maybe
You know
Tron for
what,
the.
Rob? I'll disagree with you there. The simple reason I'll disagree with you is because it's not like new money's coming in right now, and the complexities of DeFi systems and interfaces are too complex for retail to even grasp it in the next 3.5 months. So if that's the case, it's really just a bubble of a bunch of crypto guys with a bunch of crypto money just pumping bags and doing all this bullshit. So if that's the case, what asset does every crypto guy have? And it's Bitcoin. And they're not going to give up. And I don't believe they're going to give up that Bitcoin or potentially position themselves out of a run, because it's very easy to remember what happened in December of 17 and say, shit, man, like, and even, you know, what happened in 14 and shit. Let's say, okay, you know, random couple weeks and this could triple. You know, I don't know if people let that go. I personally won't, right? Like if I monkey around with all this shit, but I don't fuck around with my Bitcoin.
For sure. But you can screen cap my prediction. Bitcoin 9,000, Ether 800.
I think Ether 1,000, actually. I think Ether's going to hit 1,000. That's not unrealistic at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of momentum right now.
I think it's inevitable between now and the end of the year there's going to be a massive loss.
Wait, Ether 800?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, things in this market move exponentially. They don't move linearly. Like when you're in a bull market, you're in a bull market.
The problem is we may be in a bull market, but you know, there's a lot of, it's a very fragile bull market. Let's call it that, right? There's a lot of external factors outside the crypto space. Like, I think it's fair to say if the macro markets, like say Trump doesn't get reelected or stuff, shit like that happens and the macro's down and stuff, I think that could affect the market tremendously, regardless of what's happening. Now, do I think that's going to happen? I've changed my mind, and I don't think so, but nonetheless.
Man, that was rough.
Yeah, that was rough. Sorry about that one.
I was worried you might have that. Why did I raise on you, stupid?
Yeah,
because you're not a good player. Usually it's a safe bet to raise on me.
I like how progressively throughout the night like the bets get bigger, the hands get bigger, the more.
The bets definitely get bigger.
It's exponential, just like crypto prices.
You're just a wizard, Rob. I don't know what to say. You're like a visionary.
Yeah.
You saw that Bobby had 2 pair and you had him destroyed. So.
He's betting big again. Gets it through. Nice hand.
Dried top pair with a really good kicker. What do you guys think is going to be the asset with the highest growth between now and year end?
One of the shit coins.
Crypto? Like not just crypto, you mean?
It could be outside of crypto, yeah. I don't know what could be crypto, but
you mean between now and year end? It would be crypto. It has to be crypto.
Has to be.
I think it's Ethereum. Based off what you guys said too.
Oh, that's literally impossible. Like it'd have to go up at least 10x, right? So it wouldn't be Ethereum.
No, I mean like that's not like a random shit coin. I think to edit Rob.
Yeah, so Rob, what's the parameter there?
It's currently worth 100 million or more.
That's a good point. Let me take a look at that. Let me guess what your answer is. Compound?
No, man, I don't chill.
I'm just bugging. Let's see here.
Yes, and
I know Luke's answer.
What's that?
Tron.
I'm not like that excited. I'm not like that genuinely excited about it. Like when I look at Tron, I'm not like, this is, I'm genuinely excited about this. There's something here. Like I don't see it like that. I just
the thesis is good, man. Like I'm not joking aside. The thesis of like, listen, if yield farming is bringing degens into, there's actually like a real story there that Tron could be the lower fee degen.
It could
platform.
I more think it's I don't know. Whatever, I don't know if it's Justin, I don't know if it's the team, I don't know if it's a geographical thing, but I think maybe all three of those, they've proven that they know how to market very, very well, and they know how to build hype. So I just think it's going to be kind of a fun little narrative to watch over the next week or two if they can keep this momentum up. I don't think there's anything.
Do we know what the numbers were today on their yield farming? Like how much value was locked up?
I didn't see anything. I don't know.
Was it even close? Does anybody know if it was even close?
I'll take a look.
I don't even know where to look at stats on Tron.
Is Tron available on any like U.S. regulated exchange? Like, 'cause that's all I use. Like, can I buy?
Yeah, do you shill Coinbase, Rob?
What's that? Yeah, Coinbase is a great exchange. Any U.S. regulated exchange is a great exchange.
Tron might be on Kraken, but don't quote me on that.
I do like this.
There it is. Talk about shilling.
Anyone wearing a Coinbase shirt is a great guy.
What?
Tron.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Anyone wearing the name of a regulated U.S. exchange is a good person.
Tron's on KuCoin.
Anyone who plays poker with people wearing a shirt of a name of a U.S. regulated exchange, are the smartest people.
Tron is on Kraken. Tron's on Kraken.
Right. I might buy some Tron.
Tron's on Bittrex as well.
How much are you gonna buy? You gotta commit. You can't just declare you're gonna buy. You gotta tell us how much.
So are you telling us Tron's coming to Compound just so the viewers get it? When you say you're buying.
Yeah, I don't think it can.
Is this a partnership announcement?
Yeah, is this an announcement for the announcement?
This is a pre-announcement of the pre-announcement of the announcement.
Fantastic.
Work will commence 2 years later. Now, so far there's no good Tron to Ethereum bridge. I'd love to see this atomic swap capability between Tron and Ethereum, in which case maybe would be the answer. But that's not going to happen, most likely.
Someone's going to make... Go ahead.
The first time someone asked me what I thought about Tron on Twitter, I said the first movie was great, the second movie was so sad.
Great answer. I got to give you credit. You have some pretty good. Your Twitter game's pretty tight, Charlie.
Thanks.
Well, this. So I'm going back to Rob. Your question. So pretty much any coin on the top 100 of CoinMarketCap is 100 million plus right now, which is crazy because just a few months ago it was like 25 million top 100, like 100th place. But it's a really tough question, to that narrative. So I'm gonna obviously assume anything under $250,000 has probably a better chance of having a higher multiple return than anything over that, right? I'll just play that game. And then under $250,000, if I were to look at those tokens, Sushi's there. That's interesting. That's 230 million. Solana's there, and I'm a pretty big fan of Solana.
I don't know.
Oh.
Missing.
Yeah, you guys are gonna steal my money. Sorry, I interrupted you, Chris. Keep going.
I was just talking about. Yeah.
Solana. We heard Solana. We heard Sushi.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet anything on Sushi, but Solana band protocols, maybe a candidate there is 224 million.
No, their fully diluted market cap is like way higher though. Way, way, way higher.
What, bands?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much higher?
Luke's asking because he's a big band fan. He's all in on band. He's taking on positions right now.
I'm not all in. I didn't think it was that much higher. It's at $1 billion.
Yeah, it's $1 billion. I mean, $1 billion fully diluted is a lot, right?
It is a lot.
Yeah, but apparently, Robert, nobody looks at fully diluted numbers in this market anymore.
Fully diluted is a meme.
Fully diluted is a meme. I like that.
That's just for Mike, that bet.
I'll hang around.
If I were to make a bet, Rob, I'd probably say, if speaking of fully diluted, if CERM was, but CERM's going to be locked up for the year. So if it's end of the year, I'd say CERM is probably my bet on that.
But because it's all locked up.
Yeah, the supply's not going to change in the next year, really. So you've got until the end of the year. I say it's only 100 and something million. I can see it being $1 billion. I can see it being 1.5.
I folded the trade as well.
What's that, Robert?
What did you say, Rob?
I was saying I folded the king ace on that, the one that Mike held, because he went all in.
Oh, you guys both had ace king?
Yeah.
Damn.
It was a setup. They got me again.
Wait, so if Serum reaches $1 billion though, is there any is there anything out there right now where the DEX lives on Solana? So how could Solana not also attract a serious market cap? You know what I mean, Chris? If the thesis is that Serum's going to be that big,
that's why I went in on Solana in the first place, right? Because outside of what they've built, and I've been impressed just with the team over the years, but I can't see Serum being significantly more valued than Solana. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, okay, so Sam could just build his own blockchain as a next step, which is the kind of thing that he could do, right?
Yeah.
We can leave Ed to talk on that, but I'm just trying to give you the bear case. But Chris, I generally agree. The trade actually was to buy Sol after Serum was announced. It already got front run.
Nice hand.
Thanks.
But that was the trade, to buy it after Serum was announced.
And that's the trade I did.
Yeah. It's a good one.
It was a good trade.
I did a little bit of that too. So,
Rob, what's your answer to that question?
Oh man, let me pull up CoinGecko and go to the top.
There you go.
If I'm looking down the list, most upside over this year.
And you're talking about multiple on existing price? So
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, gosh. That's a tough one.
Existing price, I think, is a good normalizing factor. Man, there's nothing good on this list.
What are you in the top 100 CoinGecko?
Yeah, it's mostly crap.
Go to the next page. It gets a lot better.
Yeah, go to page 7.
Page 2.
Real gems.
You guys, I'm pulling up page 7 and I'm taking a coin.
Page 2, it gets really good. So I'm going to check out page 7 as well. Let's see what we got.
Let me take a look at page 7.
I'm on page 7. If I recognize any coin here.
Well, there's definitely some coin from IPO land in there.
We should start a new website. You just call it CoinGecko page 7. We just pump the page 7 coins.
Yeah.
There's some OG coins in here. Counterparties in here.
Counterparty. Oh my goodness. What happened to that? Fall from grace.
It's still around. $2,000 in 24-hour volume. There's Mooncoin. That could do well.
Hey, Raven Protocol is different from Raven Coin, huh? Interesting.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a separate coin.
That's
Internext. I love how the logo looks like BTCC's logo.
Which one is that?
Internext, number 614.
Maybe it was started by an ex-employee.
All right, I've made my pick. You guys ready? Meme number 616. It's a pineapple logo. It's not showing, but if there's anything that's going to go up like 20x, meme is going to go up for no reason.
Hold on,
All right,
Robert.
let's do it.
Robert, did you go to the website of that coin? Click on meme real quick and go to the next page and look at the website.
Yeah, it started as a joke.
It says don'tbuymeme.com.
Correct. You can't do it. You're gonna want to do it.
Oh man.
Isn't meme the thing behind the degenerator?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's
Yeah.
worth $150.
Yeah.
You know, the meme started like the degenerator thing where you can launch your own shitcoin. It's awesome.
I had no idea.
Not
So
even
There's
$10,
some
huh?
graveyard ICO coins on this page 7. District OX. I remember the hype train that was around District OX.
That's on Coinbase, by the way.
Wow.
District OXs?
Salt. Remember Salt? I remember how salty I was that all my buddies got in the round before me at like 10 cents. I got 25 cents. I went to like, I don't know.
Hey, what number is Salt? I don't see Salt.
What is it now?
It's a $5 million market cap.
What's
Where
the
is it?
price
What
now?
number is it? Salt.
Well, the price now is
Wait, you're on
Below the
page.
ICO, right?
7 cents.
Are you on page 7? Are you
Yeah.
skipping us? You're on page 6.
It says page 7, maybe because my screen shrunk, but I don't know.
Or maybe that's a Canadian page 7.
Maybe.
Yeah, you're on the Canadian page 7, I think.
It must be.
Where is Salt? Is it on page 6?
Yeah, we're there. It's in the 600s, but it does say
I
page
see.
7 at the top.
6.
Does your
Is Salt a lending platform or is it something else?
Yeah, it's lending. It's lending. Get a loan on your crypto.
Man, there's some serious gems in here. I tell you what. Good tech.
I don't see Salt.
What rank is Salt?
Sol, it's like I think like 670 maybe.
Are they operating?
Solana,
No, Salt.
Salt. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, are they operating still?
Yep.
Oh, Andrew.
Ooh.
Andrew, you really set a trap for me.
Wow. Guys, I gotta tell you. So I had the 10 there. It was a 50. I called the 50, didn't call the 100. So I folded the 10. Another 10 came. You guys are betting big. I maybe would have folded. The river come would have caught my 7. I would have been a boat over your boat, Andrew, and beat you.
You wouldn't have folded it though.
Yeah, I would have had a boat. I would have
No,
had
no,
three
you
10s
wouldn't
and
have folded the turn because you had 3 10s, right?
Yeah, but they were betting pretty aggressive. There was a flush draw on the board. I assume someone else had a 10. It probably would have got heated actually with me involved. It would have just been different dynamics. But
Different dynamics indeed.
I may have got to the river, maybe. But
So page 7 is pretty interesting. Let's go to page 11.
no. So when you
Trip
say
down
page-
memory lane.
So just so I can confirm here, Bobby. So at the top of the list, it says top cryptocurrencies by market capitalization, page whatever. So like then all the 700s are actually on page 8.
Yeah. Yes, Chris.
I guess.
Yeah, Chris, that's right. On my screen.
Okay.
Oh, there's a pork chop coin. I love that.
Man, everyone's staying in this one. Big hand here. What's going on? You guys have good hands here?
I do. I'm the one that raised.
Okay.
I have the best hand.
You do?
Yeah.
You folded.
Yeah, I folded the best hand.
Okay. I'll stay in then.
So the last page is page 59, seems like.
On page 11, Bitcoin Private is on page 11.
Yeah, what happened in Bitcoin Private? What's the story with that?
Oh my gosh, what a ham.
I don't actually remember.
That's on you, Hart. You let him get there.
Story of Bitcoin Private? It was one of Rhett's coins that got airdropped to holders of Z Classic, which was a fork
Z
of...
Classic and Bitcoin, right? Or just Z Classic?
You're correct. Z Classic and Bitcoin. And then Bitcoin Private came out, and there was actually a hidden inflation, I think, that Eric Wall found, where they created far more coins than they ever suggested there could be, and those coins went to the team. And then after that was found out, Rhett left and immediately started a new coin. And that's the story of Bitcoin Private.
Of course.
There was hidden inflation? I did not know. That's amazing.
That's right.
It was found about 3 or 4 months later. That's kind of beside the point because prices already gone down like 80 or 90% once it was very clear that no one was going to work on it. I think the development team and Rhett and whoever else kind of got adversarial about a week after the airdrop. It didn't go so well. That was a crazy trade. Z Classic went up about like 40 or 50x, I think, in a span of like 2 or 3 weeks. He did that with a few coins.
Freight coin is also on page 11. I don't know if you guys know about that coin.
What's that one?
That's
Which one?
Freight coin, FRC. It's a really old school coin.
I've never seen that coin. What's the story there?
10x is on page 5. Have you heard of 10x?
10x, I remember 10x from 17.
I remember that one.
So what are the other answers, guys? I'm actually really interested in everyone's opinion on Rob's question. So on the top 100, which coin do you guys think, so the first page, will have the highest multiple increase in USD value by end of year?
Oh, gosh.
You should set a betting line for that. Sports betting. I think you can make a lot of money doing sports betting on that.
I mean, you could just...
Hey, Salt is actually 468. Salt is quite high. It wasn't on page 6 or 7. It's on page 5. Or unless we're talking about different Salt.
Cannot believe it. How did the queen come out?
Would you put them on there, Charlie?
I put him on ace king or just a draw, right? It's hard to put him on queens.
Of course. But even like a king queen hedge would be too, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
You already.
So,
I think you already. Man.
Highest price appreciation.
I did think he might, if he had queens or something like that, he would slow play it more. Just a flat call.
You guys are going to think I'm totally biased, but I think it's FTT.
It's what?
FTT?
Yeah.
You think FTT will go more than Serum?
Yes, because right now there's a 5% airdrop of Serum, to all FTT holders over the next 7 years, and Serum is what, like, the price is 290. That means that the 5%, the fully diluted implied value of that 5% is 1.45 billion. And if you look at like the fully diluted value of like FTT right now, it's probably like 1 billion, right? So that's gonna like that's a spread that you could trade. You could short Serum and long FTT, and you're gonna like make money over the long run, right? So that makes me feel like that. And then on top of that, you've got like FTT. They burn a third of the revenue from FTX, right? Every month, and then FTX has like a third of the revenue, so value accrues that way. And then if you look at and I think given what like Serum is just going to be a farming network for FTT in terms of listings.
Yeah, that's pretty clear. You know, I think that's not a bad take, because even if you look at Binance is worth like 3 billion.
Yeah.
The market cap. So even if you were just simply to assume it would catch up there, and at Binance is just naturally, if the market were to rise to allow for that type of increase for FTX or FTT, you know, Binance is probably going to be 10 or 15 billion, right? Because the whole market would just, you know, be in trillion plus. So I don't think that's a bad take. I like that take.
The other one that kind of caught my eye was Cello, maybe. It's kind of interesting. It just kind of came out recently. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't know what juice. Like, I feel like in the next 3 months, you're going to need to have some DeFi juice to really, you know, blow up, like enough to have the highest multiple return, right? Like Cello, I know Cello decently well, and you know, they got listed on Coinbase. Like that was their big, you know, hurrah. But I don't see really anything happening on their network that would just garner so much interest and money and capital.
Yeah, that's fair.
Investors. Well, I thought you were going to say Dash, Ed.
No, that was 2017, bro.
Sorry.
Ed, you had like 27 masternodes?
Yeah, at one point I did, and Richard, my business partner, had 600 masternodes.
Wow.
At his peak.
I know this group from Costa Rica that had like over 1,000 Dash masternodes at that time. Like
They're hating it now.
Pardon?
They're hating it now.
Okay, they got destroyed. They launched another coin actually that was like a Dash copycat. Pura. Pardon?
Break even coin. Oh man.
They didn't call it underscore.
Hyphen.
Dash used to be called Darkcoin.
Yep. That was when I got in.
And why don't you tell us all the story of your dark coin days?
Yeah, like we found it when it was like 2 months old, and it was like 72 cents. That's when we started. Like 5 of us were like buying up all the Darkcoin we could get our hands on. And at one point, like the group of 5 held like 15% of all the float.
That's the thing with the masternodes. It's just like the people who have a lot of coins just continue having more and more, make a lot more money.
Yeah. I made like 10x on it, and I fist pumped. I thought I was a genius. I sold all mine.
Ouch.
I kept.
We got up to like what, like $1,500 or something?
Yeah, I didn't get to enjoy that.
That would have been beautiful.
But yeah, like the guy I was making investments with back then, Richard, like he held it, like he made a ton of money on that.
Like any sound investor, it's like, I don't know how you can hold it that long. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he's like Charlie, you know Richard. He was a huge Litecoin holder.
Yeah, you're talking about Otto, right?
Otto, yeah. He had like 600,000 Litecoin at one point too, right?
Yeah, he made a lot of money from Litecoin.
Is he your investor, Ed?
What?
Is he your investor?
He's one of our investors. He's invested in a lot, like pretty much everything I've done.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, he's
super nice
some
guy.
money from Blockfolio also. That's good.
Oh yeah, he's a gold investor. He's like the lucky money in Blockfolio. If he didn't put money in, we probably wouldn't have done well.
That's cool. He's a great guy. I like him a lot.
Super nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah. He's also huge into collecting physical Bitcoins.
Yeah, he's got these really quirky passions. Yeah,
I'm sure he's into collecting houses these days.
That's what he said. Feels like a 9.
Feels like a 6.
Action.
That feels like a club draw.
Definitely a club draw.
Oh, it's an action.
6.
So let me ask you guys this. Is it on the Coin Market Cap and CoinGecko, is it fair that the stable coins, asset-backed stable coins are listed in parallel with the cryptos?
Yes.
Why wouldn't it be fair?
Well, in one sense, it would not be fair because they're just, they're not it's not the value of the, right? The value is always one-to-one. It's just more circulation they bring in, like Tether
it's showing the value of all of the cryptographic tokens and currencies. I mean,
yeah,
it's an asset on a blockchain. It's pretty fair,
Well, how about this? Is it fair to count?
Business Insider, right? Good articles on the top 5 cryptos.
Is it fair to count wrap Bitcoin?
Yes.
Because you're double counting. You're
double counting.
Right?
Also, you're making the Bitcoin domination value go down when you're wrapping Bitcoin. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, you have to be really old school to focus on the Bitcoin domination.
Oh yeah, I don't focus on it, but still, you're double counting, right?
Yeah.
And then with Ethereum, you can wrap, double wrap, triple wrap. You can count one ETH 10 times. So that really messes things up.
For sure. If you're looking at the total market cap of all crypto, it's stupid. If you're looking at individual assets and how they're represented on a blockchain and how much value is moving around, it does make sense in a lot of ways.
Bitcoin domination is a funny concept. Talking about it. Like a crypto
domination.
It's like
only
a crypto
Bitcoin maximalist talks about it.
Crypto version of being racist.
It is. It's totally crypto racism.
It is. Eventually, people are gonna be like, "Oh, you can't be maximalist." That's weird. Maximalist.
Yeah, that's like the M word.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that going around right now. A lot of the new gens are like, "Oh, these fucking Bitcoin maxis, they don't know anything." It's just pretty hilarious. It's so fucking funny that
Antifa hates it, huh?
Yeah.
All the people that came in 2017, right?
I mean, it'd either be 17 or even later.
Yeah.
Well,
not many people got in later than 17, right? Once we're past that bull run, people don't come in.
That's not true. I knew people who came in 18 thinking they were going to make a bundle.
Andrew, you're on fire tonight, man. You've been catching them.
Yes, this guy's gonna. He's gonna.
Hey, I have a question for Charlie. So, Charlie, what do you think will be the next all-time high price of Litecoin?
Probably be 10 times.
Remind me, what was the last all-time high of Litecoin? Was it 400, 300?
Depends on where you look. It's either 370 or 420 or something like that.
Okay, so tell me what you think for the next all-time high. Will Litecoin reach 370 and exceed it, and to what level?
Next
Are
all-time
you
high.
comfortable? Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to like promise any price.
Remember, you're on video here. You're on the record.
Yeah.
I'll just say this, Charlie. I won't turn this into a specific snippet and share it.
Generally, when there's another bull market, I would expect the coin to be 5x the previous all-time high.
Litecoin, huh? 5x. That's $1,500.
Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum.
I think it's gonna be dampened for some coins.
Oh, for sure. I mean, not all coins will go past their all-time high.
Litecoin,
But I'm just saying.
If Bitcoin makes 100, if Bitcoin makes 100K, I don't believe Litecoin is hitting like 2K.
You don't think Litecoin will hit 2K?
I mean, last time people said that about Litecoin, like 4 or 5 years ago, right? If Bitcoin hits whatever 5,000, 10,000, or 20,000, they don't think Litecoin would hit 400.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I don't know. That's just my gut feeling on it.
Yeah. It may not. Litecoin manages to stick around, even though everyone thinks it's dead.
Oh yeah, actually, you know what? I take it back. I think Chainlink might actually make the biggest gains by the end of the year.
Or the biggest loss by the end of the year.
Nah, dude.
Chainlink makes the biggest gain by the end of the year.
No way.
No, and I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that because I'm a believer. I'm saying that because of the fucking absurdity of that community. Like, who the fuck knows what's going to happen with that thing?
Okay, well, let me ask a question then. What do you think the multiple increase of whatever token that goes up the most will be? Will it be 10x?
That's a good question.
20x, 5x?
Oh,
like,
gosh.
what is that?
That's impossible. That's such a hard question.
It is. There's a high likelihood that the coin is not even on the page that will go up the most. There's also that.
That's true.
It's 100 million market cap, so it's on the page.
Okay. Has to be on the page right now.
I think it's 7x. If you look at the number of different assets and the volatility of all of them, I bet one asset on that page goes up like 7x.
Until the end of the year?
Yeah.
I bet one of these will probably go up 20x.
I'd say 20.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even go 7. I'd say 10 plus for
I'd
sure.
say like 20 to 50x.
And with that being said, I think it's impossible for it to be Chainlink. There's no way Chainlink goes up 10.
I don't know.
It will be pretty hard for it to be Chainlink.
Yeah, I don't believe it's Chainlink either, but Chainlink has blown me away so many times. I mean, it's insane.
It has a market cap of $14 billion. That's the value.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, Chainlink don't give a
It's
fuck.
like a 70% pre-mine for the developers. It's kind of ridiculous.
And they still hold 70%, right? Like,
yeah.
By the way,
the Chainlink army is the most powerful part. And as soon as they realize they can pump some other token that's not Chainlink, they're going to say, "Holy shit, we can make 1,000x returns here."
Why would the Chainlink? Why would the meme army that Chainlink hired move over to some other coin?
Returns are here. Move over to another coin.
It happens all the time. Right? Like
well, you guys
meme
didn't get the thing about that Chainlink hired.
the XRP army has to migrate somewhere too. Link Marine's XRP army. They're all going to go somewhere.
I thought it was a Japanese army.
Where are the Navy SEALs?
This will probably be my last orbit as well. Just give everyone a heads
What
up.
happened to the XRP army? I know you're an instigator.
What happened to them? I was never really an instigator. I just did my best to at least kind of. I mean, it's a weird thing. Like, I don't know about you guys, but every single one of my friends, when they were getting into crypto, like every single person, without fail, probably maybe 1 out of 10 wasn't like this. Whenever they'd buy into crypto, they would always say, "Have you bought XRP?" or "Should I own XRP? That's the only one I own." Or like, "I heard this one's going to do the best," or "I heard banks are going to use this, so it has the most upside." And I found like. At first, I was like, oh, that's weird. Like 5 people said that in a row. And then I realized that everyone thought that. So I wanted to like at least educate and kind of very clearly explained the differences between Bitcoin and XRP, and the XRP army never really liked that. But
it makes I kind of get why everyone would ask that at that time though, right? Like that was peak mania. XRP was the cheapest, I think, like token value of the top 5 or 10.
Yeah.
Right. And like it made sense for people like just mentally to look at it and be like, oh shit, this can go to $1. And like, here
Oh, a counterfeit 2-pair.
Oh,
Ooh, so confused. You still winning.
I actually thought I won that.
brutal.
It looked like you did.
I know it did.
I thought you did.
Now you're just fucking with me.
I've actually folded a hand at a casino because I misread it. I had overpair, and the other guy flipped over 2-pair, but there was a bottom pair in the hand, and I had 2-pair also. So technically I won, but I got psyched out and I folded my hand and mucked it.
That's
wow.
You were already
at the river? You were already at the
river. It was at the river showdown. I just made the silly mistake of, it was like pride, right? It's like I had my pocket, I forgot it was kings or aces, and I was like, oh shit, I got beat by 2-pair. And then I realized afterwards there was a pair on the board and he had the other 2-pair. It's like I should have just opened it and I would have won the pot. It was like I threw money away, literally.
Was it a big pot?
It was like a few $100s. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's principle.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who's made that mistake. It's hard to read those hands.
Yeah.
We all just made the mistake right now. I thought Luke won. I was like, why are the chips going to Mike?
I had to think about it.
Hey Andrew, before I forget, send me a message on Telegram, just so we can connect around sending the funds, assuming that you continue.
Oh, I told Andrew it's all play money today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's no real money. You're not going to win anything.
Good.
The buy-in is all to charity.
It's actually just Bitcoin Cash.
That's on the felt. Yeah. On the felt, that's a Bitcoin Cash logo.
Exactly.
You buy in with Bitcoin and you win Bitcoin Cash.
What a great play! It's like the airdrop, the always giving airdrop.
That's Chris's master plan.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck is going on?
A lot of action here.
Someone give me protection, please. Go all in, give me some protection.
Oh.
I had the king there.
Man. All right. I have to do the honors of buying in. Let's see what I.
It's nice to have aces when someone goes all in right before you.
Oh, it's so nice.
This has been a pretty even-paced game. Slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, I forgot to show you last week. I got the hat.
Nice. How is it?
That's trash.
I got it too.
Nice, eh?
I like the green.
Yeah, it's cool. It's comfy hat. Once you work it in a little bit, it's great.
Doesn't make you a better poker player, though.
I have to leave. I have to take a call, and then I'm catching a flight. But
you're always catching a flight, Luke.
It was fun playing. It's Labor Day weekend. It's time to
It's
go
like
to the lake.
every other
Oh, is
game,
this
you're
a
like
COVID
catching a
special?
flight.
This is the COVID special.
You're right. It's the COVID special. It's at the lake. You gotta get away from the city. Go out to the lake.
Which
No, seriously.
lake?
Some lake in Boston. I don't know. A buddy I went to college with.
Why are you not taking red eye?
Dude, it's just the most convenient flight, and if I want to go to the East Coast, like I don't waste my whole Friday. If I leave here at there's a flight out at 11:45, you take it to Chicago, and then you can get anywhere else. It's a science. I get the poker game, and then I catch the flight. Anyways, it's been fun playing with you guys. Have a good weekend.
But Luke, you know you could continue playing on your Uber ride to the airport, right?
I could. That was really fucking impressive from Scott. But I will not be doing that. I will not be doing that. All right, I'm out.
Okay, bye-bye.
Later, guys.
Are you gonna keep the stream up or no?
I can. Yeah, I can do that.
Except how you're gonna end it.
I still have to pack and do some other stuff. Actually, I can't leave the table and keep the stream.
Just stay there.
Yeah, stay in.
I know, but Mike McDonald, Mike from Canada wants to play.
Mike from Canada.
Mike from Canada.
And fucking
Oh, the official.
The official
love
Mike
Mike
from
from
Canada. Mike will be joining. I told him I'd be leaving.
way better.
So he's going to take all your money. I'm out. Later, guys.
Bye.
Peace.
Wow.
For those that have